Turnovers, who needs them? Who needs the Jags? West Side gonna go bonkers, man. Bonkers, man. First job, we gotta keep fighting. Believe. Hey, we never lose straight, man. I say 0-0. We never stop. Good job, bro.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on Buzzing with Marlowe live. I say it again, live. I hope all is well. Happy Friday. Wait. That's right, guys. It's a special today because it's for episode 120. It is not Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday. That's right, guys. This is the episode for Buzzing with Marlowe this week. I know. It is insane. I'm not doing it on Friday. I thought it would be cool to do a special because I have a great episode for you today. But guys, how unprofessional of me. Let's get the video promo going. I know it's not Friday, but today is Buzzing with Marlowe Tuesday, and it is time to go. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to buzz with Marlowe. Just got to say it. It was always the Jags. That's right, guys. How's it going, man? This is your boy Warren Marlowe off the Buzzing with Marlowe podcast, guys. Make sure. I know it is crazy. It's still crazy to believe we're on Tuesday. That's right, guys. For the episode 120, I thought, why not do a special on a different day? Have a great time because I have a great planned show today, man. I'm excited. But guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification right over there to stay in contact with all my craziness. You know, guys, it has been one heck of a week for me. As you can tell right here, man, we on everybody's mind rent-free today. I don't care what anybody says. You know, we were the first time ever all Florida teams made the playoffs. We are the last one standing in the first round, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. 2017, we haven't been back to the playoffs, and we back in this junk right now, man. Tom Brady is out of here. He's out, ladies and gentlemen. But the Cowboys will choke next week. But guys, I'm so excited today, man. Also, man, to my boy Joe Tillman from Sinister Designs. You see that beautiful logo right there for making this awesome hoodie shirt for me, man. This thing is awesome, man. I call it the championship hoodie because we going there, boys. We going to KC and we smoking that Patty Light. I'm telling you now, Patty Light is about to happen this Saturday. And we undefeated on Saturdays. Just saying, if we keep going further, man, we're going to have to start making a roll saying Jacksonville has to officially play on Saturdays. No ifs, ands, or buts. But, guys, I know all my craziness. Man, thank y'all for all the subscribers. We are now almost currently on 300 on YouTube. So major shout out to y'all on that. We have now officially hit 6,000 downloads off of Buzzsprout. Thank you for that. Good pods. We are ranked number 43 on indie podcasts. I think it was no, it was on sports podcasts because apparently now I've been posting a lot of sports. Just to let everybody know, I will be posting something regarding Jaguars until we get knocked off the playoffs, which that ain't going to happen, man. That is not going to happen. Y'all watch your mouths. No. And what my buddy Chad Gable would say, shush, please. Thank you. All right, guys. I know everybody's ready to hear what we're going on, but let's check out the chat today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Alex Coquito. Thank you. Yes. Welcome from Facebook. If you go on the thing, you accept the thing, and it will pop up showing your name. But thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the episode. Guys, I ain't going to waste no more time. I was on somebody's podcast, which was a watch-along on Saturday. After seeing the massacre of first half, and I had to support my boy, but it was game at first. And I said it numerous times. I said it constantly. I said, if we score one time in the first half, we can come back. We're going to bring momentum, and Trevor won't stop. We got the defense. It will happen. My wife, she went straight to bed. I'm putting her on blast. Straight to bed. She said, I'm done with this. This is scary. Done. Period. I sat here and said, we done it against the Cowboys. We a second half team. Don't give up on us. Half that stadium. We know who the bandwagon fans are now. You not welcome back. You not welcome here. No, you have to re-sign your application now. But, guys, I joined my boy Tino. And, man, if y'all haven't, go check out this man's watch-along. I had roller coaster emotions from the beginning all the way to the end. It looked like I threw my phone, my hat, my drink. Oh my gosh, I was drinking. I don't drink often, and I said, you know what? Every time they screw up, popping a shot. Damn bottle was damn near empty in the first quarter. But guys, I'm excited today. We have my boy Tino. That's right, we got my boy Tino from Tino Time Wrestling, Tino Time Watch Along, Tino Watch Everything. Like, this boy does everything. I give this man so much props. I tried to do a watch along. He actually encouraged me to do the watch along. I'm not even gonna lie. Him and Blackheart. Shout out to my boy Blackheart off the Top Ropes podcast, my commission day one OG himself. I decided to do a watch along in Survivor Series, and I just realized how really you gotta be in tune to do these, man. I love watching this man's content. He does a great job each and every week. If you don't see him on YouTube, it's fact that you ain't subscribed to this man, because this man lives on YouTube. I'm not even close on the YouTube plateau as my boy Tino. But guys, I'm not gonna waste any more time. When the countdown hits 30-1, we will be joined with the one, the only Tino. And guys, that countdown starts right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming through the curtain, standing at 6'9", 220 solid pounds, I give you the White Sox man himself, Tino. How you doing, man?
If I'm 6'9" and 220 pounds, there's something wrong, because I'm like 5'2", like 180 pounds. So I appreciate you giving me all that hype, though, man. Thank you.
You got that camera. You could be looking like the damn size of Andre the Giant. All they know. You just gotta work the gimmick, man.
I mean, come on. I don't want to lie to the people now. I mean, they've seen. The collection episodes that I do. I mean, they've seen me sit down. They've seen my whole body at this point. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on after Saturday. Like I said before we started recording, I'm surprised you're down from that high. The roller coaster of emotions that you're going through. I wish I would have made that short. We could have showed the people. It would have been
Marlowe
great.
was exposed in that game.
Yeah,
That's
he
just-
was. Yeah, you
That's
man.
that just tells you, man. Like,
But that's
you
the thing.
know,
I say you never give up. You never
it's
know
cool
what
about
is gonna
fandoms.
happen.
That's one thing I gotta love about sports, man. It brings that type of feeling,
Yes, it does.
and we both can connect on something, talk about pro wrestling and stuff like that. You know how we emotional feeling towards stuff. So, I mean, that game was insane, and it's awesome to see us on ESPN, on every sports channel right now. People are just talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's been something that we haven't been able to do in so long.
6 years now. What is that was last time 2017?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy to think that was 6 years ago? Like it felt
Even
like that
crazier,
was-
Tom Brady. I ain't got to worry about him
Bro,
cheating us in the playoffs
that
now.
was awful. I was watching that. I was
I was
live
at
last
work.
night for
All I saw was the
It
score. I walked in on the break room and I saw the score was like 24-0, and I saw Tom score 1 touchdown.
Bro, it
The
was
Buccaneers didn't look like they wanted to play. Tom looked like he was the only one trying to win.
yeah, he was, and that's the thing where I feel like he's gonna leave. He's gonna go somewhere. He ain't playing for the Buccaneers again. I feel like the
Nah,
Buccaneers are
after
gonna-
that attitude of how that team was going, I don't see it.
No.
I can't.
it was just awful. And it's funny because the Cowboys are gonna go into 49ers and they're gonna get killed, and everyone's gonna be like, oh well, the 49ers.
It's gonna be pretty amazing.
It's gonna be Brock Purdy. We're gonna be getting the money in the
Purdy.
bank.
It's Purdy. It's Purdy boys now. It's the Purdy
Pur-
boys after
Purdy
that.
boys. I love it.
Hashtag Purdy boys.
That's
But-
fantastic.
This Saturday, we smoking that Patty Light. That's what we doing.
We'll see about that. I don't know about all that, man. We'll see.
No, I didn't. No,
We'll
there ain't no
see.
I know. We
We'll
is.
see. Okay,
We got Trevor.
Bro, okay, but
You gotta say it like this. You gotta say Trevor.
No.
You gotta rise up when you say it.
No,
All rise the Lawrence.
no, we ain't doing that.
He's related to Johnny Lawrence.
He's
We strike back.
Oh,
Cobra Kai style.
man, if they make it to the AFC Championship game, they deserve to go to the Super Bowl. But I just don't see it. I just
We
don't
deserved
see
it in 2017.
I mean, oh, for sure. I mean, but the Tom Brady guy,
Man,
that
you
guy.
know how much shit Blackheart gives me still about that game?
Oh
He's
my
like,
God,
oh,
bro.
yo, lost. Yo, look. Shut up.
Bro,
It must be nice when you had the Tom Brady special for them Zebra players.
I was gonna say, and I feel like there was something that happened. Wasn't there a play that the Jaguars got screwed on? I
Miles
remember.
Jack was
That's-
still not down.
That's what I thought there was a play. That's what because I remember there was a play, and I remember like
It's
turned
a
the
t-shirt.
whole game around.
It's a T-shirt, all memoir, everything.
Oh my
Miles
God.
Jack still wasn't down.
Oh my God!
It's still
they-
trending to this day.
And the fact they did that with Blake Bortles at the time is so great. I would have loved to see Blake Bortles in the Super Bowl. So fun.
It's sad, man. They never used him again. Blake played flawless in the freaking playoffs.
Yeah, he
Blake threw for over almost 500 yards every game that playoff. He didn't have a bad game in the playoffs.
because they had to play in the wild card round that year too, right? That's right. 'Cause
We
they
were
did-
like really favored that year. I think we only
That's-
lost like 2 or 3 games that year.
That's what I thought. It was like 12-4, 13-3 or something. Because they were
Not
good
the
that
record we got now.
year. No. But hey, if you get in, that's all it takes. You. Man.
That's it. That's it. You win. That's it. We
Yep. And,
we the
hey,
top 4 now. That's
I mean,
insane.
isn't it? Especially after having the first pick last year. As a Bears fan, that's what I'm hoping for.
2 first
And
picks,
I can feel the
2 years
pain.
in a row.
That's just. I mean, there's something wrong if the Browns had 5 picks in a row and did nothing, but the Jaguars.
The Browns made a Lakers team and still could not do a
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like, how did the Jaguars do it in 2 years and the Browns still can't figure it out? It's so.
They had Baker Mania. What happened?
Oh my God! I remember watching that draft at my friend's house, and when Baker got drafted, and then it wasn't that was the year Allen wasn't it? It wasn't Allen. It was Rosen.
Yep.
And then Lamar. And
Yep.
I just remember I was just saying. Me and my friend looked at each other like, really, Baker first? Come on.
I said Baker was going to get a reality check when he got into the league. He did really well. I won't even lie. Like he did a lot for the Panthers. I mean, they kept taking his weapons away. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey kept getting hurt every season.
Isn't it? That's so great that he hasn't got hurt since he left the Panthers. He stayed healthy.
I know that's starting to be like,
Yeah, right. All of a sudden you leave
Really?
Carolina. And here's
Well, I
your
mean,
healthy.
because you also got to think Christian McCaffrey ain't gonna have to have the ball every down
Well,
just to
that's the thing.
pound it at the end every time. Like, I think you see Christian McCaffrey maybe touch the ball 3 or 4 times minimum in the games now, and so I mean, Christian McCaffrey they might make it to the Super Bowl.
Man,
They might. They
that'd
beat
be
the
crazy.
brakes off of freaking Seahawks.
I think it would be great if Jimmy Garoppolo gets another ring as a backup quarterback.
Jimmy G will not be the starter if this man wins the Super Bowl.
No, and that's what I'm saying. He'd get a ring and he'd get replaced. So it's like I know
Jimmy G's not gonna have a purdy day
No,
for
he's
that.
not at all. Man, it should
It's
be
gonna be a
interesting,
purdy
though.
mania.
I can't believe.
But Tino,
what's up?
if nobody knows who you are, man, let them know.
What do you want them to know about me? I mean, there's a lot
Tell
to
them,
know.
tell them your bio. Tell them about Tino.
Tell them.
The Tino Mason moment.
I
the
hate
floor
this question.
is yours, my sir.
I hate when people ask me this question. It's like when you go to like an interview and they're like, "Well, tell me about you. What do you want to know?" Like I'm like, like I'm 26. Like I don't know. I mean, like
today.
I woke up today. I got ready. I look good. Do I smell like? I'm like, I remember every time I go to an interview, they ask me that question. I'm like, well, I don't know. But I mean, I'm like I said, I'm 26, and like you were giving me all those compliments, Mr. No Days Off, Tino here, lives on YouTube. I've been watching wrestling since like 2005. That's when I like really remember it. Like the first pay-per-view I like vividly remember was the Royal Rumble 2005. I remember me and my friend were sitting on our bunk beds, and I had bunk beds at the time. And I threw him off the bunk bed when Batista and John Cena eliminated each other, and we tried to like reenact it. And it was like the first time that like I remember watching wrestling, and then obviously like WrestleMania 21 and everything like that with John Cena winning the title, Batista winning the title, and just from then on there, it was like wrestling just became that thing. It was like for like a long time there, wrestling was like that thing like I could like cope with. It like would get me through like stuff and everything like that, especially in like high school. And it just became like my passion and everything. And like when I started thinking about doing like the Tino's time and everything, I started with baseball and football, and I love baseball and football. Huge Sox fan, diehard Bears fan, and everything. But it was one of those things that it just didn't like really like take off too much. And then once I started the wrestling, people were like, "Oh my God, you got so much knowledge, you got this, you got everything." And it was just like, as we've seen now, I've been able to take off, and it just like wrestling has like been that thing that's been that constant in my life since I was like 7 or 8 years old. And it just like like we were talking about before we got off, and like if a lot of people don't know, I have cerebral palsy, and that's something that people really don't know about when you see me or you see me talking and everything, because it's really not noticeable. I had a seizure and a stroke on the left side of my body, so I was like completely paralyzed on the left side. So like my eye, I have a little lazy eye. My wrist is a little like it. I had like a stroke and everything, so like my hand is kind of like this and everything, and I like can move it a little bit, but not much. But as you can see, like I'm in like a place where like we've seen people, and there's some friends that we have that like they're way worse positions than like I am. So it's like in a way like I'm a miracle, and it's like one of those things that it's like as I've been doing this, the confidence I've been growing and everything, it's just like this is something that I've been saying since I was in like 8th grade. I remember saying when they ask you, what do you want to do when you graduate? I was like, I want to be a podcaster or a WWE GM. I was like, I want to take over for Vince McMahon. I wanted to be what Triple H is doing. So I'm doing the podcast and everything, and it's
still taking applications, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, it's just so yeah, but it's just so that's what it's just and that's the thing where that's where like so that's a little bit about me. I mean, we could be here all day if you wanted me to tell you my whole life story, but that was kind of like how I started watching wrestling, and like like as if you watch my channel, John Cena fan for life, you can't see me, Thugonomics, Word Life, Chain Gang, and everything. So. But yeah, wrestling has just been that thing. Like
that's when you're the day one when you said the chain gang.
The chain gang, bro. I've had the chain. I've had the shirts. I've had I had the basketball shirt at one point. It was just like yeah. So like that was like, and that like I said, that was the thing that just like got me through a lot, because like it was a period of time with my cerebral palsy. I got bullied a lot. So it was very hard for me in school for people like they told me, like I don't know if I ever told you the story, but in high school at one point people told me my dad hit me with a hammer, and that was how my hand was like this. And it's like, what? And I'm sitting there like 15 years old, like, this is what you're telling me? And because of my cerebral palsy, I've realized, and we've even went and seen a doctor, my brain is a little behind. So it's like I'm 26, but in a way my brain is at like a 22, 23-year-old age level. So it's
Right.
like, and that has helped me a lot with throughout the last like 5, 6 years, realize that because as I've gotten older, like I feel like right now, like I went to school in like 2018 for podcasts and I went to Illinois Media School and I graduated and everything. And it's like the stuff that like I think about like now that like if I had the knowledge that I have now back then, it's just like stuff like that like I'm doing now that is just like there's stuff that I learned and it's so crazy to think about like just some of the things that, went throughout my life that has like really helped, but it's made a lot of sense as I've gotten older because it's just like, okay, it's not that like there was something wrong. It's just like that's what happened. So it's one of those things that just like, it's always affected me, but I've tried not to. And, as much as it's something that has affected me, I try not to let it bother me, especially now with the podcast and everything, because nobody wants to sit there and listen to somebody like be sad and everything. And so what's
So
going on?
hey, I love that
Like,
story how you said that. But
like
how did so what got you into podcasting? Like what here's my story about podcasting, man. I didn't know what podcast was. And I thought it was just somebody reading a book. I did for the longest time. I thought it was like, like you remember those days when you had the Harry Potter book. Nobody wanted to read that dang book personally. You wanted it read to you. It's better being read to you than you having to hold that book page, page, page. I was never that type of person. Anybody that knows you went to school with me, I hated reading books. But I always thought that was what podcasting was. But when I got in pro wrestling, shout out to my buddy he got me into the podcast and talked to me about it. And he was like, because I mean, we appreciated it for an extent because you think we're doing wrestling because you want to go higher up. You want to raise it up, raise the bar. You're thinking it's what you see on TV in the small scale, and that definitely wasn't the case. And I said something, and he told me to listen to Jim Cornette, Bruce Pritchard. He told me to listen to Kenny Brawlin. What's the other ones? Obviously, I listened to Jericho and Austin. When I listened to Stone Cold's podcast, I realized anybody can do a podcast. And the episode that got me with Austin is when he did one with Post Malone. Didn't really care for the rapper or whatever, but I loved the episode because it was not Stone Cold just talking wrestling type thing, but you were listening to Post Malone talk about what got him to love wrestling and what got him to overcome the odds of bullying and stuff like that, what he was doing just because of watching guys in tights grappling on each other. And it's crazy when you see what real feeling wrestling does for people. It's kind of like how we do with sports. This team right here almost made me have a freaking heart attack on Saturday. I'm not even gonna lie.
We saw that.
Oh my gosh, I took a bump on that night. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I did it on camera. I took a nice little bump, flat on the floor, tucked chin and everything, on a hard floor. Boom, took a bump for the Jags. But it's just cool to see these the emotional feelings that you get with towards and stuff like that. So you said you connected with John Cena. Is that the very first time? Is that like how I am with The Rock? Like when I first watched The Rock, everybody I knew watched Stone Cold. My mom was a big WWE fan. She watched wrestling every single day. If anybody remembers the Attitude Era was on Monday, Tuesday, freaking Wednesday, Saturday. You had Thursday SmackDown, which SmackDown I enjoyed SmackDown because SmackDown came on at 8, not 9 o'clock. Yeah. I couldn't watch always all because Raw was on at 9, and gotta go to bed before 11. Yep. And those were the struggles. Those were the struggles, man.
I remember so many.
When I first watched Raw, he gave Undertaker a people's elbow. The banner dropped. I freaking thought that was the coolest thing ever. I think it was the build up for I think it was a Survivor Series match that they were doing. I think it was Survivor Series or something like that. And the banner just dropped with the Brahma Bull, and I just was starstruck. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And Taker took the people's elbow and sat up when The Rock was running across the cross. Rock said, threw his foot up, boom, kicked him right back down. I said, "Oh, you got Taker!" Like that's the reason why I'm all pro Rock nowadays. So what starstruck and got you attached to Cena?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly like what it was, but I always just remember because like
What's up, Clark Streets?
what's up, Clark? What's up, Sports
Everybody,
Capital?
check their podcast out, man. They are a great wrestling podcast.
Yes, they are. Make
Great
sure
concept,
everybody...
man. Them two are funny.
Oh, they are. They're so great. They're so funny. What's up?
Oh,
What's up, Muncie?
got you some fans up in here now. Look at you.
I'm trying to share it out for you guys. I'm gotta help you out too. You know, tell
There
everybody
you
to come hang
go.
out with us. You know,
Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Muncie, coming and hanging out. But it was just, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I always remember like Thursday, like you said, SmackDown was on Thursdays, and my neighbor, we would always go and play like baseball. He had a pool, so we'd go swimming. He had a basketball court in his front yard, like a net and everything. So we'd play basketball and everything. And I always remember on Thursdays, we'd go inside in his living room. We'd turn on the UPN because if you remember, it was on UPN back then, in the heyday. And John Cena, I forgot what rap it was. It was probably a rap because I remember at that time I was like, was it like 2003, 4, something like that, when he like when he first started like doing like the Thugonomics and everything like that. And at the time I was like 8, 9 years old, so I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then when he started rapping and everything, it was just one of those.
There he is.
We got Blackheart in the house now. We're he might. Blackheart. What's up, guy? How you doing?
What's up?
So yeah, and that was just the thing. It was like, I don't know, and I just always remember like just gravitating towards Cena, where it was just like he became that guy where it was just like I could relate to him a little bit, to where like I just felt like the stuff that he said obviously was funny, the stuff that he would do was great, and the promos, the rivalries that he had with Edge and JBL and MAGA and everything like that. And it was just throughout the years, Cena was that one constant guy, no matter who went and came and who gone. And again, I was so young at the time, and like I was telling you, with my brain kind of being a little behind, and now that I know that, I kind of understand it, because there's times like I go back and watch like the old stuff now, and I'm like, I don't remember this, but I'm just like, but I understand it now. So it's like like I said, 2005, him and Batista, they final 2 in the Rumble. They obviously had the situation. They eliminated each other, and then Vince McMahon came out and did the unthinkable and tore both of his knees. And then WrestleMania 21, like I said, was the first one I like remember. We had a WrestleMania party.
That was one of my favorite ones. That was one of my favorite WrestleManias. It really was.
Yeah, I was on the World Elite podcast last night. We recorded the Royal Rumble 2009. It's coming out Friday. And we were talking about it, and I would have WrestleMania parties every year. So like WrestleMania 21 was that one that I remember, and it was in Hollywood. It was first ever Money in the Bank match. Edge won. Cena and Batista won their first ever big titles. And that was like ever since then. And obviously because Cena won, then he changed the belt to the spinner belt. I'm still looking for that belt. I can't find it anywhere.
Really? They don't have it no more?
They do.
I love the United States one. I didn't really like the WWE one.
The
WWE one just looked too heavy.
Yeah, so it just, I don't know, and I just thought it was cool. So Cena was always that guy that I just got behind, and then my friend was a huge Shawn Michaels fan, so like me and him went back and forth when him and Michaels had that rivalry in 07, and then it was just constant, and he was always there. He never left, and obviously he's done what he's done now, but I mean, for a long time there, he was that constant, and I think that was the biggest thing, because at the time it was like, there was so many guys, and that was like the thing, like when I was growing up, my dad used to watch it. He loved The Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind, Undertaker. Like, he would watch, like, the old, like, he remembered watching the first Hell in the Cell and everything. And as the years went on, he stopped watching because he's like, there's too many guys. They're bringing guys like this guy and that guy. I don't know who this guy is. And it's like, and now I if I could try to tell him, like, this guy's from NXT UK or this guy, he'd be like, what? he's like, he remembers, like, the 8 superstars that Kane, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, and Undertaker. Like, there was, like, 8 superstars that he remembers, and that's it. So it's like, that was like the thing, and it was just, I don't know. So I don't know, like, I don't remember exactly what it was with Cena, but he was just that guy that, like, I guess just, I don't know. I wanted to be him, I guess.
Yeah.
To be a rapper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always made a reference. I said I wanted to look like Randy, but I wanted to be like Cena, because Cena had that look. Cena embraced.
He had the swagger and the confidence, I think.
He made you think jorts were an awesome thing to rock. I mean, bro, I used to wear shorts all the time, jean shorts all the time. I remember I had this one specific pair, and when I found out Cena actually wrestled in South Pole once, and I went and looked all over for that one particular pair, and I found them. I wore those suckers all the time. Like we had backyard wrestling events in my backyard all the time. Everybody I mean, we had every kid trying to fight who wanted to be Cena that night.
Oh.
And if somebody was Cena, of course, I'm going to be Orton or somebody like that. And it's just really cool. Like WrestleMania 21, like the one you're talking about, man. There's so many matches you can talk about. You know, the first Ray versus Eddie match in WWE. That was a good one, and they were tag team champions. So there was two babyface roles, but you saw a transition of Eddie kind of steering away, like he was really desperate to get that win.
Yeah,
and then at the end, it kind of gave you that switch. I mean, still one of the best matches on this planet. Kurt Angle versus freaking Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
That one was phenomenal. But the coolest thing about that WrestleMania was this was the first time they ever gave the rolling the ship on new stardom. Batista winning the world heavyweight title against Triple H, which was a freaking great match.
All I remember from that
and
match
Cena
was blood.
Wrestling JBL. Around that time, there was nobody that did not hate JBL.
Oh, I hated that man so much.
JBL had something about him that just made you just cringe when you saw him on your TV.
And I
the way he did his promos, everything like that. And then where they couldn't touch for like that whole time, that was the best buildup. I thought that was the best buildup because when you got WrestleMania, you knew Cena was going to be able to put his hands on JBL. You knew JBL was going to put his hands on Cena, and you knew that those two were going to tear it down because. I loved that one because with the WrestleMania, I think that got planned after the botch with the Rumble thing. I don't know if that was the full plan at the beginning, like Cena was going to be facing JBL at the beginning, but they really were the two guys that said, "Hey, put this on us, and we won't disappoint you." And, bruh, I love both of those guys. Those Batista. They had to transition like Rock and Austin did for a little bit. Like those two carried Raw and SmackDown that whole time. Cena was a team SmackDown. SmackDown was beating ratings on Raw, which Raw was the superstars. SmackDown was the working group, and
that's why I always loved SmackDown more. And that was the thing, like when it was on Thursday,
I loved it because it was on Easy TV. I didn't have to have cable just to watch it.
That too. Well, that was the thing too. And like back in the day, like when we like in the olden days, I guess we could say now. My dad, you remember like those boxes that they would have, like where you could get like the pay-per-views? My dad would have that.
See, I loved how you said that because I got to watch one. What was the first pay-per-view I got to watch? I got to watch the Royal Rumble where Triple H won.
2002.
And that was my very first time ever watching a pay-per-view ever. Like I didn't know what the hell a box was. Like my grandparents, they would have this box and I mean they would have to sit there and adjust it and all this. Like that struggle where you had to sit here and find the exact show, and then obviously you want to get the VCR because that's what you want. You want to have that movie later.
Yep. I remember when they finally
rest in peace, Grandma, Grandpa, but y'all could have made a lot of money on those rip-off videos.
Dead ass.
But I loved how you mentioned something about the box because the box was I got to watch and it was the coolest feeling ever because it was so different from watching the Raw and SmackDowns.
Yeah. Because
I remember when I would watch the Sunday Night Heat, I would always like, man, I hope they slip up and just start letting the pay-per-view show, like like it did that perfect. I love that build-up how they used to do that because it made you like, oh man, I need to go pay $70 to watch this pay-per-view.
And that was like the thing. It finally just got to a point where it was like these pay-per-views weren't worth it, and it was just like I remember like a period like 2012 or 13 before the network came out, and I was just like, these pay-per-views aren't even worth buying. Like it's the same shit. At least with like the $9.99, I feel like if it's a shitty show, I only pay $9, but I still get all like the NBC Chicago shows, all the new shows that are on and everything like that. But it's like sometimes these $60, $70 pay-per-views were like ridiculous. And like at one point, like me and my friends were like each putting in $20 to watch it. So we'd still have the WrestleMania parties, but we'd give my mom like $20 each so we could all watch it. We'd get pizza and everything. but it was just like it became like a
You felt like the
bill.
cool kid. You
Yeah,
really felt like the cool
oh,
kid.
bro,
Like, hey man, come to my place and watch the pay per view. You know,
I was that cool kid. I remember WrestleMania 23 when Donald Trump and all that stuff happened with like Vince McMahon. That was like one of like the first like times I actually had like a lot of like my dad's friends over and like my mom had people over and then I had people over. So like there was a lot of people because everybody wanted to see what would happen with Vince and Donald and you know all of that and everything. And I don't know why it was just one of those things that it was just like I don't know, man, wrestling and just.
Wrestling does it to you, and
and
the build. It's the art of the story, and that's the one thing that people got to realize. The art of the story is what makes the presentation in the ring.
And that's the thing. Like it's just sometimes now, like these stories just aren't what they used to be, and it's like like sometimes like I especially talked to my cousin about it because he started watching like with AJ Styles and everything, and he would talk to me and he's like, "Well, how do you like still like it so much?" I'm like, "Well, you need to go back and watch some of the older stuff." I'm like, "This like the older stuff was so good that it's like there's times where I go back and watch it just because like it's better than what's on now." And
oh man, I remember when I got the network, I watched all the old Attitude Era Raws, the pay-per-views. Like I got to rewatch the pay-per-views because I didn't get to watch them when I was young.
Well, and that's the thing. Like there were so many. Like when it first came out, I remember how like big it was. Me and my mom were sitting there. I was in school, my junior year of high school, trying to get the network as my mom was trying to get her account because everybody was trying to do it. And at one point, they had to shut it down because so many people were like,
"Oh
having
my god!"
issues.
When they first opened it up for that WrestleMania,
Oh
my gosh, that thing was crashing left and right.
Yup. And then I remember having because I had a WrestleMania party that year too, and we had it on the Xbox, and it literally just kept freezing, and I'm just like, oh my god.
See, I made a mistake, and I did it on the Roku. And that thing took forever.
And you got to think,
I was so pissed because it showed the Hogan part. I saw Austin and heard if it comes
and it freezes and it does this.
I storm into my apartment. I hear if. I was like, what?
What? Huh?
If
can you son?
And everybody was buzzing on the damn social media. The Rock is here. I said, you son of a. So I go and turn my Xbox on. And then I had to reactivate the profile in there, and it took forever to profile into it. Oh. The first match it popped up, it was the very ending of Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Oh, my God.
I was so mad because I really wanted to watch that match because I loved the whole build.
And it's not the same
video to that is still one of the best parts of that match, in my opinion.
The promo package on that, I think I've rewatched it like 30 times. It's just so great.
See, that's the thing about me. I mean, I just sound kind of weird when I say this, but I would literally go on YouTube and just watch all the promo videos from the past to now. Like that's what made me excited about the matches. Like Cena and Bray Wyatt, it's my legacy. Like you really thought Cena had to give it all, or that was it. Like everything he gave, that's it. Rock and Austin's promo for Limp Bizkit still by far. There's no one's ever gonna beat it. I'm sorry. Not in time until we're in the ground. There's no way that someone's going to beat Limp Bizkit with Rock and Austin WrestleMania 17.
Oh, that was one of the best WrestleManias ever.
I get goosebumps listening to it each and every time. I mean, it does never change.
Like that was the other thing. Like I was like watching, like we were watching the Royal Rumble last night, and like even the songs that they do now, like back then they do like the Kevin Rudolph, they did the Limp Bizkit, they had like Kid Rock, they had all these great songs, and now they're using songs that nobody knows, or they're using the same goddamn song for the same pay-per-view 4 years in a row. I can't tell you how many times we've heard that. What was it? I forgot. They finally changed it, but I forget if it was like the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. It was one of those that there was like a big pay-per-view and they just kept having the same song. Just because it says like chamber in it doesn't mean we need to have it included in the match. Like we could find, there's like a million songs out there that has like, that we could find something to like, like come on. It's like, what are we doing here, people?
Shiz, I got it, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you sending money? What's up, bro? Hey, now.
Hey.
You got
Sugar Daddy called, okay?
Sugar Daddy called. Whoa, Blackheart. Damn, bro. Don't be selling yourself to Warren now.
Hey.
I mean, come on, man. But
yeah. We the ones, okay?
Oh, no.
But man. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that, and Blackheart's definitely agreeing with us as well. Um, it's just a cool transition, like how you say, man. You get that emotional feeling towards anything, like a movie. I mean, the movies that are coming out right now.
I can.
I'm big on Marvel superheroes and stuff like that, and I'm super excited about this Ant-Man movie coming out. Um, Kang introduced right now. That's going to be insane. And and that was one thing, like I didn't think I would get too excited about Marvel anymore because after Endgame, it just felt like it was done. There
Yeah.
was no way that they could come back from this.
No, I
And then
remember
when
going
you
to
see
see
the
that in the theater.
transitions, and I saw with Spider-Man, I'm just like, oh, I could still have that feeling for this. And then I saw the trailer for Ant-Man. I was like, oh no, I'm back in it. I'm
Yeah,
attached.
and that's what happens, and it's just like and that was like I remember watching that in theaters, and people were literally crying. Like that was like there was like my friend
I
was even
felt like I
upset.
was at a WWE event in this movie theater when Captain America caught the dang Major. And then when on your left, behind you, and everyone just started like that was the I still say that's probably the best time I ever went to a movie theater because just everyone was just in it. Like we were all like, yeah, Black Panther's back. Yeah.
Oh my
Spider-Man's
god!
back. Yeah.
Oh my god!
All of them are back. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Screw you, Peter. Quill.
it's crazy to think how many like Marvel movies they've actually done and like how long it's actually been going on for. Like, because I remember watching the first Spider-Man. Like,
And they still
yeah,
got plans all the way until like
I
freaking
know,
2040.
I know. It's just it's never gonna stop with the Marvel
And
movies.
DC's having trouble doing anything. Which
I don't know. I have a hard time watching DC things. I don't know. I have a hard time
DC, I hope
watching.
you hear this.
I have a hard time watching like anything my
Black
DC
Adam
thing
was
is
your
like.
best film you've had in a long time.
See, I've heard mixed reviews on that. I've heard it's good and I've heard it's really
I don't
bad.
care. I saw it.
Was it good?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And I'm
So
not just saying
besides,
because I'm a rock fan. There's some rock movies that I did not like either.
which one? See, I like most of the Rock movies.
Be Cool. I didn't really care for the character genre, him being, but
Yeah,
not against it, but I mean it was just, bro, we're wrestling fans. You don't need to see The Rock, from and then Take My Man. I'm like, oh no.
yeah.
Oh no.
That's one I've.
But he was
seen.
hilarious in it. He was hilarious.
Be Cool and Walking Tall are the two that I've seen, but I'd have to go back and watch them. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Walking Tall I loved Walking Tall one.
That was
I
like
like
a
that
movie
one.
when I was a kid. My
Where he
mom
took the
would put
lumber
on.
thing and just started wham.
What about the Scorpion King?
I liked it. I thought it
That
was pretty cool.
that was one that I always remember watching it and being like, I want to be the Scorpion King.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
I
trying to
did
be The
never
Rock.
really would ever watch those films. Like my dad was all about sci-fi all the time. And then I heard The Rock was in it, and I was so excited. I'm like, man, I'm about to watch this. Rock, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of Haku Vicente or whatever the hell he said. And I'm just in there like, yeah,
Oh my god,
where'd
that's
he
so
go?
That's
And then he
exactly how
came
my
back
dad
with
was
that
too.
little beast looking thing.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
man.
I gotta say, I actually like Doom. I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was cool to see it. I like the game. I like just the third person, the shooter mode. Like how it looked like a video game for that part of the movie.
That's right. Okay, that's that one. Okay, I was trying to.
Yeah,
think
it was Rock. Rock says it's probably the worst film he's made.
He said, I mean, at least he admits it.
I
feel like some
mean, it's
people
like
don't.
seen as the Marine. I actually like the Marine.
That was the only movie I got my dad in my 26 years of life have been able to get him to go see it in the theaters. Only
Really?
movie ever, and it was only because of John Cena and the one chick because she was from Nick Tuck.
Yep.
Remember? And my dad loved Nick Tuck, but I wasn't allowed to watch that because obviously I was 10 and there was like inappropriate stuff that was shown on there. Obviously, I think
On FX.
I still
On
never
national
watched
TV.
it.
On national TV. They bleeped it out a little bit. I love the part where they would sit there and show the whole thing, except they just blocked the one little spot. I'm like,
damn it. Yeah, I that was me. Or the funny story, because while we're talking about it, with like wrestling, when I would have these parties, my friend would not be allowed to be in the room when the divas were out there. So he would have to leave the room. And his mom called my dad one time and said, if my son is in there watching the wrestlers, the girls, I'm gonna like, she's gonna like yell at him and like something like that. And she literally called him because she turned it on and called him and made sure that he wasn't watching it and made him walk out of the room. I was like, bro, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, that's so bad. Like, he was literally, because we had a game room at the time, because we had like it was a big house that I grew up in. So we had like a living room and we had a game room. So we'd have it on every TV. So we just made him go in the other room and watch it, but the poor guy had to go watch it by himself. I was just like, oh my God. And it was always like that until we were like 16, 17 years old. I was just like, bro, like, oh my God. It was just like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?
That's gotta suck.
Oh
I remember they had this one spot, it's called the Video Warehouse. And we would rent all old wrestling films, and I think it was the one where Sable lost a match and they told her she had to strip down. My mom took me out of the room. She watched it. So I did not go in the room at all to even sneak in here. I tried to sneak in there twice because Sable was hot as hell. And my mom made sure I could not see that. And she made sure that I couldn't even rewind towards it, because there was a timer on the freaking VCR that whatever left of the movie was left, and I was not tech savvy, so I didn't know how to fix the timer on it. So this thing go bing, and the movie just cut off. I'm like,
like, and there's so many things like that I've watched that I thought was bad when I was growing up, and I'm like, this is why I wasn't able to watch it. Like, it's not even that bad. And then it's like there's some things that I'm like,
my mom hated The Simpsons,
and
she would not let me watch The Simpsons.
Bro, the first ever episode I watched the South Park, my mom and dad, it was like 11:30 at night, and I was like 13 years old, and we were watching Adult Swim, and it was like 11:30 at night. I couldn't sleep. And of course, the first episode it was with Brian selling coke as a police officer, trying to do the, and I'm like, of course, the one episode I watch is about a dog trying to sell coke to the police officers, and I'm like, there we go. So my mom, she made me decide.
No, Mom, it's
She made me
sugar.
decide. She goes, you either have to pick South Park or Family Guy. So I was only able to watch like one of them for a long time. So like I would have to switch back and forth, because at one point all I would watch is South Park, and then I would go back and watch Family Guy. But she wouldn't let me watch both, because she's like, this is just too much for you. You're gonna start doing. I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna go to school and tell like come on now. Like, I might have been a little messed up, but like I wasn't that dumb. Like, I knew what was going on. I hated school. I did go though, and I did get my shit done. I graduated high school, so that's good.
Hey, that's
I got
all that matters, right?
But man, it's just so funny. Some of these like shows now and these movies, like, you ever watch Euro Trip? You ever see that one where Scotty doesn't know Scotty?
I watched it because it was Sarah Michelle Gellar's sister in it.
Who?
And she looked just like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Is that the blonde girl?
Yeah.
Is that who plays the blonde girl? Oh, okay.
That's the one that and you know Scooby-Doo, the one that played Daphne.
Oh,
and Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Yeah.
Really?
Her sister was in the movie.
Oh my God, I did not know that. I've seen that movie about like 5 times now that I'm older, but that was another one too. Like, I wasn't able to watch.
Well, she was off. She was the one for a little bit.
Oh my God, but yeah, man, there was just so many things that happened like as like a kid that like there was just, it's just so great. But
hey, man. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, guys. When we come back, Tino, we're gonna talk about your watch alongs. We're gonna talk about how you got into it, and we're also gonna put some acknowledgement on, regarding cerebral palsy and stuff like that. I think that would be a really cool thing. So, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back in a quick jiffy. We're going to take a nice little break, too, because I know Tino needs a water break. He kind of messaged me 4 times saying he need a water break. So, I got him. But, guys, we'll be back in a quick second.
More.
With Batsy. It was just last night, as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
You simply makes you a stranger.
VMAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Don't even know why I'm watching, cause it ain't funny when you ain't here. But I know you're going away, so I'm watching so we can stay here. I heard you trying to protect myself. I ain't making excuses, I'm just letting you know I understand why you live. It was toxic, back for your help. You trying so hard to love me, but I really couldn't love myself. I need your patience, baby, but time's up. Whole time I really felt like I wasn't enough. Deleted all of your pictures cause I can't stomach the fact. After all that we've been through, my baby's not coming back. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm writing this track. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm writing this track. Got more words this. Day one popped out. Ain't nobody in this motherfucker fly than me. These bitches all in my DM. Texting them back was good, but I ain't really trying to see them.
Out, he said he accepted, and you know what? Nobody wants to see it. Because nobody remembers the American prodigy. All this history, and nobody cares. But if you could find one, that's all I'm asking. If you could find one promotion that wants to put this on, I'll be there. I will be. There's no running. There's no running. Not at all. I will be there. Right in the center of the ring. You versus me. And then when I beat you, you'll understand that maybe wrestling wasn't for you. Maybe this is a good new career change. You're a podcaster. You're an influencer, social media.
What's up? Florida, weighing 238 pounds.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. Back with my boy Tino, and I got me a nice little fresh blue raspberry drink. Shout out to Raz Energy, guys. If you do the promo code Buzz20, you get 15% off.
Oh, we
Gotta
have
pay the
promo
bills.
codes now. Hey, now. Let's go.
Hey man.
That works.
Gotta do something about it. All right, so we have covered wrestling. We have covered you just how good of a person you are, and found out you were the cool kid on the block. You know, the man with the pay-per-view watch parties. I like it. Hey, I made an underground backyard wrestling ring. I had a whole federation for a year and a half, especially in the summertime, bro. We've made some bank.
Hey,
the neighborhood, man. I'll tell you what.
That would be
making some bank.
That would be so much. I used to wrestle my friends on my trampoline.
When I got a trampoline, it was done. And then we had a pool right next to it, so that was it. I had told my mom, I said, I'm never coming inside.
My cousin jumped off our roof with his skateboard into our pool.
Nah, I wasn't that crazy.
Yeah, he broke like 6 bones like in his lifetime and everything. So he was like Jeff Hardy. I think that was another reason why I like Jeff Hardy, because my cousin kind of reminded me like Jeff Hardy. He would do all these crazy ass things that Jeff Hardy would do, except there wasn't ladders. It was roofs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but man,
I didn't go that crazy. That's a lie. I jumped off of a ladder and top rope. So yeah, never mind. I'm lying. Never mind.
Hey now, hey, there you go.
But professionally, rightfully done. But we are having a blast on this. But guys, this is my boy Tino. So now we have covered you getting in the podcast and stuff like that. So what got you into watch-alongs?
So, because a lot of people ask me this, because when I first started it, I didn't do watch-alongs. I started doing watch-alongs. Actually, the 1-year anniversary is coming up. It will be the night 1 of WrestleMania this year. I started on WrestleMania last year. So as I was saying earlier, I started with baseball and football. So when I started this, I started in June of 2020. And I started, like, you see, I'm a White Sox fan. Sadly, the White Sox suck and can't do anything right. And Tony La Russa's a trash. And Jerry Reinsdorf don't want to pay nobody.
We're now just able to brag about where we are.
So as a White Sox fan, it's not been very fun. As a Bears fan, it hasn't been very fun. So I've always been a sports fan in general. I've always done fantasy baseball, fantasy football. And I've always been that person. Like, if you were able to ask me, like, a lineup from, like, 2009, I might be able to tell you almost all the players on the team. And it was, like, at that point, since I was, like, 10 years old, baseball was also that other thing that, like, during the summer, I'd not miss one game. If it was on my phone, if it was this, if it was that, if it was all of it.
Really? Okay.
So, and people would make fun of me. Like, we would go to it was called Oak Fest. So where I lived at the time, we would have like a fest in our like town where we'd all go watch fireworks and everything. And every year they would make fun of me. I'm watching the Sox game on my phone, and they're like, "What are you doing?" We're trying to hang out. They wanted to go do all the bad stuff that we were doing as teenagers, and I wanted to watch the Sox game. And it was just one of those things that I don't know why, but it was like the Sox game's on. I need to watch it. My high school graduation, watching the Sox game. I remember Chris Sale pitched a one-hitter versus the Yankees. The Sox won 1-0, I think it was. It's like 1 or 2-0. I always remember it. And it was so funny because they were calling people's names and I'm watching the game. But when I started doing the podcast, I started doing baseball. And I remember my first show was with my friend Brandon. And we did baseball. And we were talking about the predictions and everything. And that summer I did baseball. And then I started with football. And I started because I'm a big fan of fantasy football. I've been doing fantasy since I was 10 years old. Shout out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been doing it since I was really young. And shout out to my cousin Steve. He actually got me into it. And the year I did it was the first year the Bears went to the Super Bowl. The year they had Sexy Rexy, they had Thomas Jones, they had
Devin Hester,
Baxton, they had Devin Hester. And at the time, the first year I did fantasy, they counted Devin Hester's points for him instead of the defense. So I drafted Hester, and all those touchdowns that he got, I did great. So because the Bears did so good, I did very good. So my cousin really helped me get into it, and he kind of introduced it to me on Yahoo. And my dad's friend ended up coming over because he was a big wrestling fan too. Mm-hmm. So he was one that I would watch the matches with. He was an Undertaker, John Cena fan. I always remember watching the WrestleMania 28 with him with Undertaker and Triple H, and then John Cena The Rock, the first one, with Once in a Lifetime. And it was just like, he was always around and everything, but it was just one of those things that, like, I've always been into it. So I was like, you know what, let's do a fantasy show. I was like, I got a lot of knowledge. When I was 12 years old, you remember Andre Johnson on the Houston Texans? Wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Great,
Miami boy, man. Come on.
great wide receiver. Number 1 wide receiver. Great for the Texans. Well, championship year of 12 years old. Going into the championship, I think I needed like 14 points. And this guy cannot get one more catch, and I lose by 0.01. And I lose in a money league where I paid $500 on my mom's credit card. But if I would have won, it would have been like over like $100,000. And I was 1 yard away.
I won 100,000.
It was 1 yard away because it was at the time it was Yahoo, so I was doing it with like people I didn't know. And it was like every time you made a pickup, every time you traded, every time you dropped, but the pot was like really big.
Yeah.
So
they still do that? Does Yahoo still do that?
I don't think so now. Probably not. I've moved to ESPN. I still do one on
yeah.
Yahoo, but yeah, I don't know. But
Man,
that was like
that
my first
used
year.
to be some money on that
So
thing.
that was my second year doing it. So the first year I had all Bears players. I did good because the Bears were good. And then my dad's friend helped me, and I ended up picking Chris Johnson. You remember Chris Johnson from the Titans? Yep. So I had him and everything. And I just did very good. And then as the years went on, I've just become very, like, knowledgeable on it. I figured it out. I'm very good with numbers. Like, if you ask me, like my mom one day, she was like, what's 12 times 10 times this times that? And I'm like, here's the answer. She did it in the calculator. She's like, how'd you do that so fast? I'm like, I don't know. Something in my brain, like, if you start telling me numbers sometimes, I'm, like, really good. So I'm like, I've been very good with numbers, and fantasy, that's what it is. It's all about numbers. So when I started my fantasy show, sorry, I'm kind of getting lost on the question.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I started with the fantasy football show, so I did the whole fantasy show. My cousin at the time helped me. I did it on SoundCloud and Spotify, and I was doing really good, getting like 300-400 views a week and everything like that. But something a lot of people may not know is I have stage fright. I don't like talking to people. You asked me to get up in front of people when I was 5 years ago. I couldn't do it. I remember in high school we had to do a thing, and at this time now I think about it, I could get up there and do it, but at the time it was like a thing where we had to get up and talk in front of our whole ninth grade class. We had to do a project, we had to do like a whole presentation, and I ended up not doing it. I got such a bad panic attack. I started like panicking and everything, and it got to a point where like I would literally almost pass out because I would not be able to get in front of people. So it was very hard for me to talk to people, and like, because I just get very like anxious, I get very scared, I don't want to look like weird and everything. So I never wanted to be on camera, and I never wanted to do YouTube because I was like, I don't want to show my face, I'm scared.
Right.
I'd rather record it and everything like that. So the first full year I did it all on Spotify and SoundCloud. And then I finally started realizing, I'm like, you know what? I need to try to find something, because I was doing the pay-per-views, I was doing this is before I was doing wrestling. This is like when I did football, and then I forgot who said something, and they're like, why don't you start a wrestling one? They like, you've been watching wrestling since 2004, you know the knowledge, you know this, you know that, you've been doing this and that, and I was like, you know what, let's start it. So I remember I started Tino's Time Wrestling, and there's actually a short I put out, and it's so funny, because if you go watch it now, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's the same person, because I'm like, go subscribe to Tino's Time Wrestling, and go follow, and it just, like,
we all had those days, man.
So
I remember my first episode.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Guys, we lost him. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Oh, shit. Hello? Warren? Guys, I don't know what happened. I guess I'm taking over Buzzing with Marlowe. Welcome to Buzzing with Tino. What's up, guys? I don't know what happened. Uh-oh. I hopefully you can fix it. Hopefully we get him back. But as I was saying, because, you know, we were talking about it with everything, I'll continue to go. Once we get Warren back, we'll get back to what he was saying. But as I was saying, I started, I was doing the wrestling and everything. I started on SoundCloud and Spotify. And it was one of those things that, like, once I started doing the wrestling, I said this before, I just, I love baseball and football, but there was something about wrestling that, like, I was just so, it was just easier to talk about. It was, like, so much more. It was just, it was like, there was ways of me talking about it more than I could about baseball and football, to where, like, I feel like the information that I gave about football and baseball was good, but the information I give about wrestling is just fantastic. And once I started doing the wrestling, the first ever pay-per-view I ever did, because I didn't start doing the watch-alongs, like I said, until WrestleMania. First ever pay-per-view I did. What's up, Warren? I just wanted to continue talking. I don't know what happened.
Hey, that's why you're the pro, man.
So,
hey.
but yeah. So, what were you gonna say before all that happened?
No, keep going what you were going. That was a good one.
So, but yeah, I started doing that, and it was like my first ever wrestling thing. I still have the thumbnail for it was War Games in 2020 when they had Alba. It was like the last black and gold NXT before they changed it. It
was Gargano and all them, right?
It was, no, not the NXT 2.0 one. It was the one with Adam Cole. It was Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
It was Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee's team. So this is when Pat McAfee.
That's right. Yeah, that was Pat's team.
So that was my first ever preview and post show that I ever did. So throughout the rest of the year, Survivor Series, TLC, the Royal Rumble, and then Elimination Chamber, I did like pay-per-view, like previews and post shows. So I was recording them, I was editing them, I was putting them out there. But then I forgot who I think I started watching. You ever hear of, I think I've said it on my channel. He's been on my SCW Steve, SCW Wrestling. So I started watching him, and I don't know how I came across him. And I started realizing, like, him going live and everything. And I was like, well, maybe, like, there's something about going live. Because I was putting out the episodes, and I was only getting, like, 20 views an episode. And I'm like, there's something I'm doing wrong. Because, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a lot of views. And especially, like, me telling my family, like, that should just be 20 views. So, obviously, it just wasn't getting out there. So, then I started joining a few podcast groups and everything like that. And then I started, like, talking to, like, David, like we were talking about. And then I met you and everything. And I think it was around, like, this time that I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? Let me try to think about going live. And I wanted to make it big time. So I didn't say anything. I would just continue to do what I did. And I started announcing it, being like, I'm going to go live. WrestleMania, Dallas, Texas, 2-night event. Come and hang out as your boy Tino goes live for the first time. And I remember the first time I went live, man. I still remember it. I literally didn't know what I was doing. The YouTube wasn't working. I literally had to reset the WrestleMania one. I ended up going live 2 hours before the show started, not realizing that the show started at a certain time. So I was live for the whole pre-show for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then I was live for the whole WrestleMania. So that one was like a 7-hour thing. And this is like before I even started doing the football. So once I started doing the WrestleManias, I think I got like 300 views on the WrestleMania. And for me at the time, I was like, hell yeah, I'm at the big time. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. And so I started doing it, and we all know, we're all watching wrestling Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays. So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm sitting in my room, eating, playing video games, whatever the hell I'm doing. Why don't I just go live on my YouTube channel every week, hang out with these people, and get to know them, and start talking to them, and interacting with them? Because I needed to find that thing, because my friends would always tell me, they're like, why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you being consistent? Why aren't you doing? I'm like, well, I don't know. I need to find that something. And that's where the watch-alongs came in. Because if you take away the watch-alongs, I'm really only live like 2 or 3 times a week. I'm really, and nothing wrong with that. But the watch-alongs really help me gain a following, be live every day, get people intrigued, get the following up, get the watch hours, get all this and that. And then I remember the first big one I did was NXT in Your House. And I was, me and my
We actually
cousin,
did a prediction show on that one. I think you and me did.
Was it Hell in the... I think we did Hell in the Cell. Or did we do In Your House too?
It was an NXT show.
Oh, it was Heat Wave.
Heat Wave, yeah.
That's what we did. But I remember going to, because the weekend of Hell in the Cell was in Chicago, and I've told the story a few times how I went to Hell in the Cell. So the weekend of Hell in the Cell, it was In Your House. So they had a pay-per-view on Saturday. So I went live from Rosemont. with my cousin.
Mhm.
And that one got like 400, 500 views. And it was just like, as I started doing these watch-alongs, as the weeks went on, more and more people started coming. And I did the Ric Flair last match one, and I hit over 2,000 views. I don't know why people might not want to watch the Ric Flair. I don't know what it is, but
It was a Ric Flair match.
So-
Wasn't what we see Ric Flair match.
No,
but
it was one of those things that I finally
I actually
like,
bought the pay-per-view. I don't ever buy stuff like
well,
that, and I bought
and
it.
that was the thing. I was like, so it was just like I was just trying different things because I was like I needed to find something that worked, and it was like these watch-alongs finally worked, and it's like now, like there was one week I was like, guys, I'm not gonna be live, and my whole entire chat's like, Trent, where are you going, Tino? Where are you going, Tino? I'm like, I'm not gonna be live 1 week for football. Relax. Like, I'm gonna be here for wrestling, and I don't know why, but people love hanging out with me on weekly wrestling and just watching the shows. And I was just like, and that's like, it helped with the watch hours too, because I see how hard it is for some people to get watch hours. And it's like these watch alongs sometimes, like there's like the Giants and Vikings one I just did on Sunday, it got over 1.8K views. So it's like there's some that are very good, and then there are some that are very bad. But I think it is, I'm doing this anyway. I'm watching the games. So why not come and hang out and talk to people that are doing the same thing that maybe I could get, and there's sometimes I get some new subscribers, new people, and then, like talking to you guys, and like that was when it finally really started taking off, is when I met like Blackheart and you guys, and like the Mob started, they invited me on their show. And it was just like I started just accepting everything. I was like, I'm going to do this. I have to put all of it. And that's what, when I first started it, I didn't want to not do it where I was stop, start, stop, start. I want to be consistent every week, do it every single week. And this is, people have seen how fast I've been growing. And they're like, how are you doing this? I'm like, I'm just consistent. I'm putting out stuff. I'm doing the watch-alongs. I'm trying to and it just,
And you're
it's a lot.
promoting like no joke. And that's the biggest thing that a lot of people got to learn is the promoting is going to be the big thing.
And that's the thing sometimes with people, they don't understand how much more goes into it before we sit here and press record. There's a lot of stuff that we got to do, and there's just, what I mean? And that was like where, like, recently I finally have gotten into, like I said, I'm hitting the 1 year. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood will be the 1 year of me doing watch-alongs. So it's one of those things, like, I started last year, I had 100 subscribers, WrestleMania. I'm now at 656. I have 6,000 watch hours. And I have all these things that pretty much as soon as I hit the subscribers, I'm able to join the partnership. And it just, like, to see how fast I've grown in the last year from starting doing the watch-alongs, because the watch-alongs is really what, like, really started taking off, because
I don't know how people watch it. And like, I was against them at first, because I'm just like, you're watching somebody's expression, but I'm just like, okay.
It's a lot, yeah.
And I watching y'all stuff, I did the Survivor Series one, and it was different. And I had my boy, shout out to Brian B from the Beeline podcast. We were on, and we were watching, and he was impressed to actually see like how I view wrestling. And he was like, so what did you think of the match? And I was like, do you want me to give you my wrestling opinion, or do you want me to give you a fan opinion? And that's something that I've learned how to do. I can watch wrestling now and still be a fan, and I can critique it, of course, but then there's a way you could still watch in two different visuals. And I've learned that, not being in the ring for almost 2 to 3 years now, that's squashed, and now I'm back in, but still, was amazed just to see like my point of view, how I explained what the match scenario was, how they could have done this, how they could have introduced something with it. I'm not behind Bianca Belair. I'm sorry. I feel like the title has made her way over than she really is. And and I feel like it's starting to show in her performances now too, which I like Bianca, and I loved what she's preaching in the ring and stuff. She's got a role model aspect for younger individuals and stuff like that. But my thing is, she's getting too much. She's getting more believably on that title than what she really is in the ring.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. Like with her, where it's like I feel like we need like a new champion at this point. Like her run was.
It's not even necessarily a new champion anymore, and that's the thing. Like I was watching Becky, and I had some people talking about Becky, and they're like, "Oh, she needs the title again." I said she really doesn't.
No, she doesn't either. And that's the thing. Like,
the title doesn't make the
person. No, I mean, there's been so. I mean, like you could see like what has happened with people that have like gotten it that we didn't think would, and how like it kind of has like taken their career off some point. Like remember, like I remember the Jinder Mahal like run for a little bit there, and like well, it's like he's one. Of
I
those
love the
guys who never-
story
Yes.
just because of how it was built in, and it was Randy's idea. That's still the craziest thing. Randy came up with the idea for Jinder to win.
And it's just so crazy because it's just one of those things. Jinder was one of those guys that we would never think about. Like
You would have
winning the
never thought.
No.
Never
Especially
thought.
with
And which is
3MB.
crazy. The leader of the 3MB is the only one that's never won the title.
Isn't it sad?
Jinder was never projected to even be a main eventer. Ever.
And that's like the thing.
And
like,
he did
throughout the
good.
years,
I thought he did a good run.
Yeah.
I thought he did really well with the characters. The Singh brothers.
Oh my
God.
So funny. It was.
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh,
Those
two made that character.
And that was
perfect.
the time like when he started like feuding with AJ Styles and everything, and that was like the time I finally got my cousin to watch it a little bit because he loved AJ Styles. He has his vest and everything. And I just remember because he just always like, I hate Jinder,
man,
I hate this, and I hate
pro
that.
AJ. He disowned Cena. He's pro AJ now. Pro AJ. AJ got hurt, and Matthews kind of lost on rep. He likes the Usos. He likes new Usos.
I hope they stop announcing people for the Royal Rumble. That's all I hope for that. Because I'll tell you.
I mean, if you watch like the old Attitude Era, they're doing exactly how that was. If you remember the vignettes with Triple H when he had that quadricep, which was a great build because you saw the pop at Madison Square Garden when he got it and say, I'm officially entering the Royal Rumble, and people just lost it. I hope that's what they're doing with Cody. I don't think they need to just have him back at Rumble. Come out at Raw since you've already announced that he's going to be at Rumble.
I mean, that's
have him come out.
Even have him do a video package next week. I mean, it is Raw is 30 next week if that's what they're going to do.
I feel like Rock's coming out. I feel like there's
They
something going to be
teased it
starting with
last night.
that story.
They teased it last night. If this is the time to do it. And like that's like the other thing, like with like a lot of these stories that have like happened, like it's crazy to think like there's times where like I don't know if you ever feel this way, but do you ever feel like you remember like the WrestleMania? Like I remember all the WrestleMania matches, but there's so many Raw and SmackDowns I don't remember watching that I obviously watched with them building the storyline. But if I go back and like watch the WrestleMania, I'm like, I don't remember the SmackDown. But then I know I watched it because I obviously like I haven't missed a Raw or SmackDown.
I used to binge watch Raw and SmackDowns.
I went through a period where I stopped watching. I tried.
I stopped watching it when I got in high school. I stopped watching. I think my junior or senior year. The first time back, I got. They announced that they were doing a special guest for WrestleMania. And I'm sitting there, of course, 7 years later, still hoping it's one particular guy. And needless to say, I'm sitting there waiting on it. I'm thinking Jericho's coming out because the lights. I'm like, Rock ain't coming out. The lights went off. That's not him. And then when he came out, oh my gosh. And I love when they show the camera visual where everybody's running down. Two people fell down, running down the stairs, and you see them just falling straight down. That's when you knew this guy is what people have been wanting for a long time.
And that was a good time for wrestling.
And when he called out Cena, and fans went from pro Cena to just like pro Rock.
Me and my dad would argue about this because he's Rock all day. Rock, you can smell all Rock items in our house that my dad owned of wrestling, and I was all John Cena. So that's all it was. It was arguments between back and forth, and at the time, like, because my dad and I guess you could say she was my stepmom, or they were never married, but they were together for like 10 years or whatever. And she was like, "What are you two idiots arguing about? You're arguing over guys that are laying out there." And she literally ruined it for me one year. She goes, "I don't understand. We're watching the Royal Rumble." She goes, "Why are all these guys just laying there? They're sleeping to get paid." I'm like, I'm like, I can't watch the Royal Rumble different. Every time I see somebody laying out, I'm like, they're sleeping. They're getting paid.
Like I do with my wife. And I watched it recently. I'm so glad half of that was muted. Like you could not hear my wife's just straight. Oh my gosh. The questions that my wife asks me, I love this woman to death. I used to pick on girls like her when I was in high school. And I married one. And the questions I get from her. It is just like, I cannot do this with you right now. I cannot do this right now. When they got the ball back, matter of fact, talking about the watch along, I got something for us right here.
Oh, what kind of? What you got?
Hold on. Let's watch the cool thing I got open here. I got a little special for everybody.
Oh, cool. Special.
You
got to have
waiting
me
for
drinking.
you, waiting for Tony Khan, just because I don't like him to begin with. Oh my God!
I'm so done. I'm done. It's so great.
Oh, we're gonna have to go back. I'm just so glad you bleeped out my wife in that one.
There's children here, then get out. No. Bro, this is just, it's going to be one of those things that we're...
Bruh, oh my God.
What's going on? Talk to me. I'm here for you.
I'll put a hit out for the rest tonight.
Do you not remember this?
You got charges and calls they're missing.
I was not. I was buzzed.
You had a catch that they said sped the ref up. And that's the only reason why they got that damn field goal. Because right now, we should only be down by like
7. 1 point game.
So you know what they were doing with this. Yeah. And you got to think, what a coincidence. Super Bowl's in LA this year.
Bro, they trying to get the Chargers there.
And then we just got no film.
I don't know what was better, this or when you were celebrating when they got the
hashtag my hat's about to fly.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and not say it wasn't Trevor, but I've always said we're a second half team.
Oh my God, it's so great.
And it is showing right now.
Second half team. Every time you say
look at that.
Second half Jags.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy how much the difference looks in a half, and it's so sad because you just think if he did it, just been an interception. It's like, damn it! The fact that he threw 4.
I'm already drinking half a bottle of tequila just because I have a mistake.
I drink half a bottle. Well, I'm the same way with the Bears, so I definitely feel it. I don't know what the playoffs are. I forget. I can't. Yeah, I can't tell you what that is. I don't want to remember our last playoff run. Shut up.
Oh, what is it?
No, Jadis is an Eagles fan. So he likes to bring up the incident that happened the last time the Bears were in the playoffs. I don't speak of that incident.
I'm at least rocking a Minshew jersey. Give me slack, dude.
There you go. Got the Gardner. I mean,
he's got the catch. About time. We'll take one as long as y'all screwed up. Let's go. All we gotta do is score.
Bro, my TV is like I literally keep pausing and I keep forgetting to catch up. So
I said I was like, David, how far ahead is my TV compared to yours? Because you said 13. You're like, oh, no, 14. I was like, no, 14. 14? You get these right.
Hey, shut up. Takes me a minute, man. I'm just a little slow on everything.
Tequila was definitely hitting me at that time.
Obviously. You were feeling
Paramana.
Bro, I did a live session today saying there's no way in hell we're gonna lose this in our home. And we get scored 24 points in the first freaking quarter.
Yeah. And it's all because of the short field because he threw 4 picks. It's like you take half of those away. It's just that was the biggest.
One of them was a pass interference. Nobody's ever seen
it needs to be when they got the touchdown.
It's a tough strike.
I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay.
Oh my God. I should have
We don't win much. So this is an amazing thing for us right now.
I always forget to do that. He said we don't win much. Tell me about it. We won 3 games this year. That's funny.
Oh shit, we're allowed to go for 2 points at 1 yard line.
He said 1 yard line. The fact that this was like 3 days ago is.
You can't tell me he just gave him a hug, bro.
He just gave him a hug.
Oh my gosh.
The struggle of a Jaguars fan. Yes, I know. We won.
You could tell.
He said 100% the fix is in. I believe it.
Come on, throw it, Trevor.
This is when it starts getting. Yep.
Touchdown, baby. Let's go.
Oh, touchdown, Captain Kirk. That's when he caught the 80-yard.
Oh
my
God.
That's right.
He's got
Or
4
like the
picks,
40.
4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Don't mention the picks. We're not talking about
those.
I'm sorry.
This is Trevor's second
Jadis.
half. We're talking, okay?
Jadis.
This
what
is
did I
like
say,
Jordan
bro?
on his flu game. You stop it.
Oh my God, I'm.
I do a Chicago reference here.
I'm so.
I just love the fact that
By
you were rocking
3.
John Cena.
Hell,
So
always,
that
bro.
reference was for the Jaguars.
Bro,
Never
I'm
give
No,
up.
because they're gonna hold the ball, and there's a flag already.
Always. I'd go for 2. Called it.
Well, we gotta go
That
for 2,
is.
but still, they're gonna have to get the ball back.
And they did.
Baza is probably getting ejected.
I mean, what's wrong with him?
I don't care. Keep doing it. That's the only thing that the refs are sitting here getting mad about finally. So I don't care.
Bro, you're about to get ejected, so why are you sitting down?
Please
Post his
do.
ass.
I don't care anymore.
Bosa literally did nothing for no reason. He was useless.
And then we gotta go play the damn Chiefs.
So you
Oh god.
Never know.
funny as a.
Smoking patty like next week.
That week off, Mahomes might be doing too much.
I mean, that might help. Man, this is so great. It's so funny. I should have made it short.
Oh shit, we're allowed to go for 2 points at 1 yard line.
I think you said that like 3 times,
Oh.
bro.
Oh,
And
so
we
he's
get the
not-
time back.
Tequila is sponsored by water, man.
Hey, look at
Maybe you're not allowed to do live streams when you're on tequila no more.
if the Chargers blow this game,
I don't care.
I
Blow
know
it.
he doesn't- I know he's a Jaguars
Blow
fan,
it.
bro. He said
These
blow
refs
it.
have been blowing them the whole game like Tom Brady special.
The whole game, bro.
Bro, the Tom Brady
Yo, I
special.
The Brady
I
straw.
feel like somebody had Ray Charles teach these damn fools
And
how to
how-
ref a game.
How that ages 2 days. In 2 days.
It's
This is
ridiculous.
eliminated. That's so great.
People tell me these are playoff referees. In our damn
That should be
home,
the
of all
title of that episode. Me mad at the refs.
They forget Duval County is the second worst
I was
crime
gonna
state
say,
around. You are
Jaguars
screwed.
fan goes crazy.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Ah, you gotta make it. Trevor's in, baby.
I
Let's go, boys. Down by 2 points.
Jadis, bro. We were talking about this, bro.
I told y'all this.
What is going on?
I made a
That's
post.
crazy.
We
I'm
are a
still in
second
shock.
half team, man.
The second half team, I'm done. Every time you say second half team, that's it.
Oh my god.
We're gonna
He's
put
eating
you
my ass. I don't know if I'm a cuss.
Yeah, I don't.
He said. It's so funny.
Boy, Trevor's over. I don't give a damn.
There's children here, then get out. No. Jadis, don't tell your mom.
Just don't tell your mom.
What's wrong?
Oh, and then that's when everybody else started coming. in.
Boy, Trevor.
Your whole
My
family
wife
came.
come in
I don't
very
care about-
oblivious.
Just tell everybody this now. Next season, watch out for the Jags.
Oh, bro, they're gonna be so good.
Especially if they keep.
Man, we're
winning.
keeping our defense.
The fact that they
Watch
were the
out.
4th seed at 9 and 8 is sad. Like, imagine if they would have just won you know what I mean? Like,
We had to win 5 games straight just to get in.
I know.
We had to beat
That's
Tennessee twice.
I know. Bro,
You don't have to prove it to me,
that's
bro.
why you just never know.
I'm telling you, the ceiling of this season has to be a team that has never won a Super Bowl. You got 3 Florida teams in the playoffs that's never been done.
Isn't that
At the
crazy?
same time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Dolphins will be out by 3 o'clock tomorrow because I don't know how well he's going to play. But
That game was
we'll see
close.
how
Oh,
that
than I
Tua's not in?
thought.
huh?
They're not letting Tua play?
No, he's out. And Bridgewater's out.
Skylar Thompson, she went out and showed out for
Ben
everybody.
I know a
You know
quarterback
what?
named Josh Hobbs. Get him over there.
Oh,
Passing Hobbs
Get
around.
the playoffs. Come on, man. 5 minutes, 25 seconds. Let's go.
You know it's warm when this guy's got his shirt off.
Yes! Let's go!
Bro, your whole reaction
Bro,
is just
I love
fantastic.
you. I love you. You're so funny.
Nah, I've never acted like this on camera.
Bro, it's all but bro, that's what it is. It's the fandom for the team. I'm the same way. I get it. I just bro, like you should see me on Sunday.
You a Bears fan, you know the damn struggle. Y'all were a legacy back in the day.
Bro, you should have seen me on the one Monday night game when we played the Patriots. I was over here dancing and shit, not knowing it would be our last win of the season.
Last win, Monday night. Watched it live.
That's like 2017 with us. We went and balled out against the Patriots and never knew what a win was after that season.
9 straight, win the Super Bowl.
He said
We just exactly. That's what we need.
Third down.
I just want us to win in Jacksonville. Just win in Jacksonville. God forbid we're playing the damn Chiefs in snow, probably.
I hope no snow.
Trevor ain't gonna be able to throw in the damn snow.
Well, it also depends on tomorrow, right? Because if the
that fumbled quick.
because it's the Bills and the
yeah, because the Chiefs got to buy.
The what?
Well, yeah, no, I know, but if the Bills win, then they would face. I don't know.
You don't get. Oh, it dropped.
He said, "Oh shit, it dropped." Oh.
Third down.
So funny. No, it's fourth down.
Oh, fourth down. Okay.
He said,
that
3
was,
minutes,
that
4
was
seconds.
great. Like, how much of this do you remember?
You made me more relieved when you said fourth down. I said even better.
Now look where we are.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I hope this is.
Bro, they're kicking it. Oh my gosh, we cannot mess this up.
Oh, this guy, bro, my anxiety.
There's the hat.
I have anxiety for you.
The head is about to fly.
Is this the winning field goal? I think so.
No, we're about to get the ball back.
Oh,
always.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because then this is where
Trevor's done it before.
This is
we
where it gets
have how long? 3 minutes something.
3:30.
Oh, we got.
Right. I still don't understand why they only did 2 plays
Trevor,
to
don't
that
you
whole
play that
thing.
First half bullshit. You've been playing great.
Bro, like imagine what the score would be if they didn't play like that in the first half.
Everybody in the chat, say a prayer right now. Just hold your hands up. Give your power, absorb it too, Trevor.
The Jaguars. One pass.
I know there's some Dragon Ball Z fans in this thing.
I'm over here referencing DBZ.
Absorb
Oh
the
my
power
god.
to Trevor.
Oh.
The Chargers don't need it.
He said the Chargers don't need it.
If I remember, wasn't I arguing with my dog through this too?
The what?
Wasn't I arguing with my dog at the same time?
You're arguing with your dog, your daughters, you
my
start
God.
showing everybody. You start showing
Don't
your
you
daughter.
dare throw that to that person again, man. That's the last time he should be throwing to.
Oh, that's so funny.
They almost threw a pick on that one. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jaguars have done that. What did they do to the Cowboys?
What were the 4
3 games straight? Titans game? I had to watch that on my phone.
Cowboys, Texans,
I
and
had to
the
watch
Tennessee
that on my
Titans. We got to go for.
Let's go, first down.
Yup, this is where it gets good.
259.
Yeah, this is about to be where that damn field goal. Oh
That's right, Trey.
gosh, that's where the hat flew.
Yup, that's when the hat flew. That's when everything. You were like, be quiet. You were like, come on.
Come on, run.
Is that your dog?
Bro, I still don't understand that. They had 2 timeouts left. Why the fuck did you do one play and not consider to even go up for the ball? Let the time go out. It was a minute left. Let the time go out to 3 seconds just for depending on this damn field goal.
It's definitely
And it almost
my
was
wife
missed.
likes the girly dogs.
Oh, I feel you. Okay. Go.
said-
Go.
You know what?
Go.
Why not? Doodle and a freaking what are they called?
What
the
did
big
they
ear.
call it? Oh my god.
Chocolate
I
baby.
feel it.
Lady in
The
the
lady in the tramp dog.
Oh, okay. I know what dog you're talking about.
That dog.
That dog.
Oh, okay. So cute.
This sucker is scrappy dude. And then I have a big dog like the size of Clifford. It's like Scooby-Doo.
I feel like I learned more about you in this watch along than I did in like last year.
Oh, that's all.
I feel like I'm learning me. In the same.
Come on,
He said
don't
I've
you
learned
mess
about
this up,
me.
Trevor.
You're like,
Yeah,
show
Brad,
everybody.
Come on now. Let's go.
Oh, that's when they got the first.
First and 10, Trevor.
Oh, with ETM.
Clemson, Trevor. We need that.
Clemson
Let's
Trevor.
go.
What are you watching? Are you watching on Peacock?
I don't know what.
And then you asked me that damn question. No station.
Because I was trying to
You're
figure it
catching
out because I was still
I don't
behind.
Give a damn.
I was trying to
What's
act
the
like I
call-up?
wasn't, but I was. I was
It was
still
on
behind the whole
NBC.
time.
56.
I didn't even realize that was on
Bro, we
NBC.
scored.
I thought it was the normal Jaguar station.
Well, and that's
Right.
why it was.
And they've
because
only
I,
scored 3 in the second half.
Yeah, because I was watching on Peacock, so it was like 2 seconds off. So every time you
I
saw
don't care.
something,
We're about to
I
win.
saw
Yeah.
text. I was so mad because I was trying to act
Oh,
like I wasn't. but
yeah,
I
my
was
wife
like
just
that.
woke up.
Wake
She's
up.
mad as
Time to
hell.
watch.
She said, "Wake up, time to watch."
My wife was sleeping because she was so embarrassed about it.
Well, now how the times have changed.
2 hours.
That was telling me. My daughter was telling me to shut up for the last hour and a half.
That is not a
I
lie.
told you, I have to watch games at home. I can't watch them anywhere. I'll get kicked down. It don't matter. We down by 2, babe. 2 points.
He said it don't matter. We done by.
Bro, I was dead. What's up, Jadis? What's up, bro?
Boys. Oh my
How's it
gosh,
going,
this is the
man?
comeback of the century.
Jadis, we're taking. Hello.
He was in it. He was definitely
Oh,
heavy in the chat too.
always he is.
Everybody say hi to Tina.
What's up, everybody?
Oh God, I put my wife in it.
For your wife, your kid, I was like, damn, okay. And then my poor camera kept freezing, so I'm sitting there like this. So funny.
And then she asked me that damn question. That's the question.
What'd she ask you?
She goes, she said, so Trevor got the ball.
Get up the field, Trevor.
That's
You better.
and weren't they in the red
I will
zone
be
now at
going
this
to
point?
Everbank Field.
I think ATM is when he did that play.
Keep the
because-
first. How many times else we got?
2.
Oh, we got all 3.
All 3. Always heavy in the chat. He loves me. I think he loves me too much, bro. Jadis, you need to go find a new
Bruh, my hat was
podcast.
flying from different sides all over since the first half.
I could just imagine what you're about. What roller coaster of emotions you've been going through in the last 3 hours. I could imagine.
I just had to have that typical, Marlowe positive, and just realize we're a second half team.
We a second
Beat the
half.
I
Cowboys.
can't even look straight.
So,
Well,
Finger
now it
crossed.
comes down to
Said I
this.
can't look straight.
shit, it's 4th and 1.
Poor Warren.
I will probably cut off if we don't get this.
We can't kick a field goal
50 yards away.
How do you know?
I mean, these kickers,
I
bro.
mean-
We ain't
Hey.
chancing.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Come on, Trevor, please.
Yes, hi Tina. Yes, yeah, that was my cousin that said that because he messed up and didn't say Tino.
Yeah, he called me Tina.
Five?
Time out. Oh, okay.
Oh, we will cover that in a sec. Trust me.
I was like,
we
was that
will.
really a flaw?
Tom Brady.
About to
man.
cry for you.
My massacre for
Alright.
2017. Trust me.
All right.
I'll just hide.
He said, "I'll just hide."
Oh, the kickers, bro. They need to get rid of the kicker position. Like, go
I saw a
down.
post about it.
It was awful.
We'll just watch the field goal part and then we'll cut it off.
He didn't have faith in me.
That's when they
He's
called that
nervous.
timeout on the set formation. Trevor was cussing Doug out.
This is
Oh.
this is too much, Brandon.
He's like, this is too much. I can't.
Look
even
how
do this.
red my face is.
I'm surprised.
My God. It looks like someone punched me.
Get in there, get in there. Go! Go!
This is the ET.
Go! We're right at the goal line, bro. Sure, this is probably an entertaining episode for you right now.
Why is it?
I'm so happy you came on.
Because
though,
they ain't
bro.
out of bounds.
He said-
And then I had to hear these damn
Oh, my
questions.
goodness. Are we really? Are we really about to watch? Like,
We about to watch the comeback.
bro,
Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I might have to bring you on next week if they do.
Oh, I'll be on everywhere.
I'll be on everywhere. We'll have a lot to talk about on Tuesday.
Breaking news, people. There will be a Buzzing with Marlowe Jaguars edition logo coming soon.
He said Jaguars edition. He said, "Oh shit." You're entertaining factor. I mean, but at least they're in field goal.
That's too soon.
That's great.
Slow down. Oh shit, we got time out. You might be shit right now. Simon's going down. Watch your mouth. Don't drop the F-bomb. Bruh, you better make this field goal or everybody's jumping your ass.
He said
y'all literally
watch your mouth.
Yeah, she said, I feel like she's going to miss it. Stop.
Oh, my God. Bro, after last night, who knows? Why do they got to bring up Philly? Why do they got to bring up Philly? What the hell did they just... See, and then they're mentioning it.
I was so pissed they were going for this field goal.
I'm going to cry.
There it is. There's the breakdown.
Jadis, get your ass. Jadis, you're blocked for the night. Jadis,
I can't see the camera, so I don't know what's going on. But
oh, no, you can. Okay.
I will... My phone's going to be broke tonight. If he misses this damn field goal.
Hey.
Come on.
She said
hi.
He said hi.
Say hi.
Hi. Oh, my God. And then he like...
A little flirt over there.
Why'd he pull back?
So funny, bro.
And then she asked me, what is happening?
We waste the time out to wait on a field goal?
No, the Chargers, because they're trying to ice. Yeah, they're trying to ice his ass. So the Chargers use their last time out.
Yes, Jace, I do. I'm actually a professional wrestler.
No. We had how much time at the 20-yard line? We didn't pull up one more time when we did this.
Jada said, I didn't say it.
You stop. Don't you talk another word. You go in the room.
There's the boat.
Oh, what's the fucking flag?
Oh, my God. Bro, that was great. Oh, my God.
All right, so out of all the crazy watch-alongs that you've had, so which ones have you thought are like the most entertaining ones for you? Like, is it the baseball ones, football ones, wrestling ones? Hell, you even do movie ones and stuff, like for the holidays and stuff like that. So, what's the ones that you really is one of your all-time favorites?
I mean, honestly, I've done so many. Like, I was looking at, I've done like you and Tino tag team. Let's do it. We taking on the Usos. But
Buzzing with Tino.
I was just about to say, let's do it. I mean, I'll have to say my favorite one is because I've done so many. I feel like my favorite one, like entertaining value, probably the one I did with you. Because, like, usually I don't have people on the show. So, like, when I do get people on the show, it makes it go by faster. And I love having, like, I always try to have people. Like, I would love to do, like, what Peyton and Eli do is have, like, a guest an hour.
Yeah.
That's what I would really love to do. But finding 3 guests every week is very difficult to have time with everybody so busy and everything. But I feel like my favorite one had to be the one I did, like I was mentioning earlier, I did in Rosemont, the weekend of Hell in the Cell. I had my cousin there. We were getting ready for Hell in the Cell. We had a bunch of his friends in there. The chat was popping. It was the first watch-along I did that was like people were interactive, people were asking questions, people were watching the show and everything. And it's just like, you know, like I can't tell you like a favorite one I have. There's been like some that, like I said,
I did.
Ric Flair, that has done very good and stuff like that. So like, but like my favorite one, probably the one I did with my cousin, just because I like having people around. I like doing ones like this. Like if I could, I would do a weekly wrestling show with somebody.
I can't do it by myself. It feels so weird.
And that's the thing. Like I do them, but there's times where I'm sitting there and it's like it sucks because there's nothing going on. I don't know what to talk about. We've talked about all the information. I'm just sitting there and it's like, you know. But then there's times where like there's stuff's going on, stuff's happening, and this and that. So it just like. You know, but I love the ones that go by fast, the ones with people, because I just don't like doing them by myself. And that was the thing, like we were talking about, like you asked me like how I started doing it and everything, is when I first started doing it, I remember doing it. Me and this guy it was TNT Talk Wrestling was the first ever show I did. We did like 3 or 4 shows, and then a few things happened with him, and we just weren't able to get it going, and just so we stopped it. But I remember doing that episode with him, and I just remember being like, "This is fun. This is exciting. This is like it gives me like something like," and I was one of those people that always be scared to do it. And the way I think about it now, and this is a very good advice to some people, if you're scared to do anything, just think about it as like excitement. Like I think about things now, like, you know what, like, yes, I go live every day, and yes, it's scary that I do, and sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, but I get so excited to do these things that instead of being fearful of what I'm doing, I get excited, so I'm not having the fear, and it's like excitement, like going to like a wrestling event. Like when we went to Hell in the Cell, my excitement, I had the poster. I don't know if I ever told you, but I was on TV when Cody Rhodes came out. My poster was on there. Me and my cousin were on there for like a couple seconds and everything. And it was just like the excitement that I have of like going to the events and doing stuff like that. And the first time I did the YouTube, it was like, why am I not doing this? And then once I started doing the watch alongs, I just got more confidence as it's gone on, and now here we are almost a year later. It's like even my friends, because I've been friends with my friends. Like I have like a group of like 3 friends that I've been friends with since like 12 years old, and they're like, the difference between you from like this year to like even a year and a half ago is ridiculous. They're like, we don't even think it's you. And it just like, that's like one of those things where it took me a long time, and it definitely like I wanted to start this. I graduated college in 2018. So there was some that I've been wanting to do. It just took me a while. So it took 2 years to get everything going. But now that it's going, I'm not stopping. So that was like the thing. Once I finally realized that I had to go live and everything, I got the schedule. I got everything down to like where like now I have everything planned out. So pretty much all I got to do when I do like go live is just press send, because I set everything up the night before. Like for today, I set up everything for NXT last night. So then I'm set for today, so then I can still do stuff. So it's like I've kind of figured out a thing, because I do Uber Eats for work. So it's not like I have like a working schedule, so I can make it whenever I want.
Yeah.
Like, so it's one of those things that this is like, that's the perfect job for this, because that's the thing people always ask me, like, how do you have so much time? And it's like, I do, because if I didn't and I was working like a regular job, I obviously couldn't go live every week and everything. But with as much as it's growing, it's kind of gotten to the point where like I can't miss an episode because people are looking forward to me. What is this, an interview? Huh? Well, I mean, I guess
so.
I got an interview or a little watch along.
That's usually what Buzz with Marlowe episodes are, man. They're usually like just to have somebody, and like the whole episode is focused on the guest.
Yeah.
And you know, I love how you talk about when you talk about the watch alongs, because I couldn't do them by myself. Especially, I mean, it's really cool, say like, especially with the platforms that we're on and stuff, you know, where you get that sidebar and people actually get to have that conversation for you. It makes that long haul longevity to keep that episode going and stuff like that. And yes, I have actually been, segment, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. Everybody asks me about Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about it.
Needless to say, a lot of people were wondering what happened with the show and everything. Obviously, if you saw the episode, you know what happened. Yeah, but that was a cool thing for me, you know, was to transition. I had a point of view of myself, and even as crazy as her point of view was, she had a female's point of view. And we clicked very well until I brought somebody on and I said, let's test her out. And that didn't go well. Camera cut. We were jumping, rating. I almost felt like I invented the YouTube Jerry Springer for a second. What?
And Jordan, dead ass, bro. I cannot, bro. Like, to facts.
Oh,
so many. Because, like, and that's the thing, like, when I first started doing the watch-alongs, I started doing just the YouTube app. So I started, like, the YouTube thing. So, like, I didn't have any of the ticker. I didn't have any of that. So it was like I had a thing of like I had a sign that I made that said I'll be right back. So instead of the music I play and everything, I had a sign and I just put my camera like this. So then you could still see my everything. So then it's like if you see it now, people are like, "Holy crap!" Like with the ticker, the background,
Yep.
this and that, and everything. And it was just one of those things where I finally realized, like now that I'm growing and everything, and like Jordan said, he's been in there, Jadis has been in there. There's about like 7 or 8 people that since I've started it, they've been in there. Like there's just a few people that like just, and that was like the thing. Like when I would watch these shows, I'd be watching like Raw, and all of a sudden somebody new would subscribe that I probably wouldn't have got if I wasn't live because. And that was the thing. Like, I needed to find that thing that I could be and be consistent with that other people weren't doing. And at the time, a lot of people weren't doing it. And it's gotten to the point now where, like, people are like, what, like, they were asking me for advice for, like, how should I do the watch alongs? What's good to be live? What shows are good to be live? Because there are some shows that are bad and that I get like 70, 80 views. But then, like I said, there's some that I get like 1,000. So it's one of those things that they're not all great, but you just never know. Like the crown jewel one
about
I did.
Your longevity and stuff. Like you're consistent, and
yeah, and that's the key. And that was what I always said because like the crown jewel one, I have no idea what I did. I don't know what it was, but I had over 10,000 views. I gained about 60 subscribers just in that one episode, and it was just like I have no idea. And there's some of them I'm like I don't know what I do. But that's the thing is like there's people that are on there that want to watch the shows and want to talk to you and hang out with you and like and it's just, and that was the thing, like, all the people around the world, like, I was meeting people, like, Jordan was in the chat, and he was like, there's people from, like, India here, and it's just, like, there's, you know what I mean, and that's, like, the thing, you never really know who's watching, and that's why, like, I always try to tell people, I'm like, yeah, I think it's a great idea, that's why I like having people on my show, so then I could tell them, because I know they don't like doing them, and it is a lot, because you gotta think it's not every day, every night, and that's why I try to set everything up, so then I don't have to. Because at one point, I was setting everything up at 5 o'clock thinking I could do it. And by 7 o'clock, I still had stuff to do. So it was like I needed to find that. And like I said,
I've had that problem. And actually recently, it's going to be cat out of the bag. So when I had the episode with Larry Hankin and I had it pre-recorded, I had everything set up. I thought it was all set up and ready to go. I didn't find out I didn't upload the pre-recorded episode to the live thing. So needless to say, I promoted the living daylights out of this episode for 2 weeks straight, constantly. People were tuned in, everything. Like, it's pretty bad when you have in the waiting room 457 guys and that never aired. Because I did not put the video on.
And that's the one thing I do like about doing the lives, especially with the StreamYard. You're able to go live, and if you do a pre-recorded, I've done it before where I pre-recorded it, and I can go live and interact with the people. So like my collection episodes, all my collection episodes are pre-recorded. So I record them, I go live, I do a little introduction, and then I play the episode, and then I sit in the chat and talk to everybody. So it's like one of those things that it just like, and it's all about the people. You gotta like, it's all, because we can't do anything.
I love people.
We can't do any of this without them. If they're not in the chat, they're not subscribing. We're just sitting here talking to ourselves.
Yep.
And that's like, and that was the thing. Like for a while there, like my friend's trying to start a Pokemon YouTube channel. He's recently trying to start it, and he's seen like how well I've done and everything, and I was like telling him, I'm like, dude, like, like obviously like they're different like audiences and everything, but I was just trying to give him the tips that I've got from like that I've done with wrestling to contribute to there. And that's the other thing like I've done like with the baseball and football, because I never thought about doing watch alongs, and I'll be honest, it was a lot this season going live every Sunday for 7 hours. I don't know how the hell I did it. I don't know why I did it, but I was trying something new to just try to get some type of football fans, because I never went live during the games. I'd always sit in my room. I like the lights off. I got the Sunday ticket. I'm trying to watch both games, win some money in fantasy and stuff and that. But it was just like one of those things with like, but that helped a lot with getting football fans, because I have a lot more football fans, where this year was my best year doing fantasy, where I was averaging about like 80 to 90 views an episode. And for like fantasy football, that's not bad, because there's some people that like, they want to see like shorts. Like I have one friend that he does like fantasy football, and they like his shorts more than his videos. Yeah. But it's like, you know what I mean? And that's like where like with like the wrestling is my main focus, but I also have the baseball and wrestling where it's like I bring different audiences in.
I have more than one topic. Yeah. I've learned that. And that's something like I make a very value with my show is
and it's
I don't want a certain topic.
Yeah, and that's the one thing where it's like I feel like somebody asked me, they're like, how should I start a podcast? And I was like, I feel like you should focus on one topic when you first start. But I
Yes.
feel like once you get going, like what I should have done in my case is I should have started with wrestling and then introduced the baseball and football. But I did it backwards, which was okay. But I
Mhm.
just think if I would have started with the wrestling, I may have had a little bit of a bigger following when I first started, just because there's like a different type of audience, and that was the thing I'd always try to tell my friends because they would be like, I don't understand. There's a different. We're a rare kind. I always say that love baseball, football, wrestling. All like there's not many people out there. It's usually wrestling or football or baseball. Like there's not
Mhm.
many people out there that that are gonna know John Cena, Thugonomics, and remember the Super Bowl with Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, and you know what I mean. Where it's just like one of those things where it's just like there's not many people that like it, and it just that was the thing. Like wrestling just is what took off, and that's why I finally started getting, and that's why like I started doing like the YouTube and everything like that, because like I said, I just never thought about it. And I was always afraid to, and then once I finally realized, just there's no reason to be afraid. Let's do it, and here we are now.
Yeah. All
So
right, man. So
I
we've covered a lot.
I know.
Let's talk about your cerebral palsy and stuff. Like how was that transition with stuff? You know, like with me, my son being autistic and having scoliosis and all these things. Like it was definitely hard for me at first. I I've been very open when I say this on my podcast. I refused it for a long time. Um, I always believed that it was just hard work. People just need to be, kind of get that edge just to feel that momentum. And when I finally realized it and I could see the symptoms and stuff, and I started seeing it was a beautiful thing. So what was your approach with everything regarding cerebral palsy?
Well, a lot of it it happened when I was 6 months old. So I was actually a twin.
Okay.
So you could have had two Tinos, everybody. Imagine two of me. We could have been side to side.
The
And we
double
were
watch along.
double watch along. Hell yeah. And we were actually what are those twins where like they're attached? So he was like we were like attached. So they had to like put us like they had to unattach us, I guess. And he ended up losing blood, and he didn't have enough blood going to his brain and everything, and I guess he lost too much blood, and he ended up dying in my mom's stomach.
Hmm.
So he had to give birth. She had to give birth to him, and then me, I was one of those where they said that it was either my mom or me, and we're
Yeah.
both still here. So it was one of those things that like when I was like growing up and everything, like I went to therapy, I went to this and that, but it was one of those things, like I said with the bullying, that was the biggest thing because it was like when I was growing up, I had a group of friends, they understood everything, but me having to try to explain to people what would happen and then people not understanding it, it was like people, like I said, the story about the people hitting me saying my dad hit me with a hammer. And there was one time, like in school, I would get people spitting in my food. I had people pour milk on my head. I had people throw water bottles out the window. I had there was just so many things. Like somebody took my gym clothes one time, threw it in the gym, and made sure I wasn't able to get changed. And it was just the stuff that I went through, and people just never got to know me, and they would think like I'm this like evil person that I'm like nobody wants to talk to me. I'm disabled, but it was like they never got to know me and never got like the chance to like realize who I was, and they would always just judge me on this, and they would and they would just sit there and like be like, oh well, your hands like this, you can't do anything. But I'm waving my hands. I could do this and that. I can walk. I can drive. I can, and it was just one of those things that it just affected me my whole entire life. And as I've gotten older, it's definitely gotten better. But it's been something that's been very difficult. And like I know I really haven't said it too much, but I have my medical card for weed. And that was another thing that really like around this time, like when I was really depressed and everything, I didn't start like getting it obviously once got legal here in Chicago. I got my medical card and everything. But it's like some of the what it does, it's like it releases the muscles. It like makes me think clear, and it's like stuff that is like completely like changed my life to where like you could say yes, you're getting high, you're this and that, whatever. But it doesn't like people don't understand how much it really does help to the point where like it's something that like calms my brain down. It like you know what I mean? Like I'm able to move my fingers. Like I at one point I was stuck like this. I'd have to walk around like this, and I couldn't move my arms. So like me being able to do this and move my fingers and stuff is one of those great things, and it's something that I've worked very hard for, and I've wanted to get surgery and everything. We've tried to have a brace on it and something, but it just never has worked out. So I would like to do something about it, but it's also one of those things I feel like it makes me me, and I feel like like it's one of like I want to I say I'm taking over the world for everybody. I'm taking over YouTube and everything, and that just like the confidence that I have now is just it's not going to stop me because I've realized everything that like the cerebral palsy is something that has affected me, but it's not going to stop me to do what I'm doing every day and stop it. I'm not going to somebody wants to say something about me, just get out of the chat. I'm going to continue to talk about wrestling. I'll be live on Wednesday. Like and that was the thing for a long time there. It was just like I always let things get to me. I always let people bother me. I let bullies get to me. And it was like, you know what? I'm standing up for myself. And there's people that now they're like, oh, well, we're shocked you're doing this. It's like, I've been saying this forever. It just took me a while. And now people are like, there's a lot of people that are like upset with me and with what I'm doing, but they don't see how much I've grown and how much I want to be. And I've been saying it like since 2016. Where like this is when I like graduated and I started going to school and everything. Like that's when I really wanted to start it, but it just took me a long time. But the cerebral palsy was just something that has always affected me. But like I said, I'm just never gonna let it stop me. And it's just it's just one of those things that it's always gonna be a part of me. But I've gotten to the point where I just cannot let because I can still do things, and that's because people think that I can. But like I was telling you the story earlier with the ultimate frisbee. I remember I caught like 15 touchdowns and nobody blocked me because they're like, he can't use his arm. And I'm sitting out here making plays like hey, Odell Beckham. And it's just like, and it's one of those things, like the confidence that I have now, if I would have just had it like when I was in school, it would have just been something different because I talked to the people that I was in school now, like some of them that I still talk to, and they're like, I asked them straight up, I was like, was there something that was like wrong with me? And they were like, well, you were just like down on the dumps and everything. I was like, well, do you guys realize like how much bullying I went through and everything? Because that affects somebody. Like I missed 70 days of school at one point. Like it really, really affected me. And it was really bad, but it was one of those things that now that I realize and now that I'm older and now I'm out of high school and I don't deal with all of that, like it was just people, they didn't have anything else better to do. I didn't do anything wrong. And who knows what they're doing with their lives, but I know what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm taking over. I'm letting nobody stop me.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that.
That's the thing.
Did you have say when you did these watch alongs and stuff like that, did you possibly do like an episode where you just wanted to have clarity, where you wanted just to kind of like release all the tension and release all the stress that you have went through in your past? Has there ever been anybody that has cerebral palsy or any type of special needs thing or diagnosis or anything like that reach out to you and go, hey, watching you has made me and know that I'm not alone type scenario?
I've never had like that type of situation, and I really hope I do, because I'm one of those where like I mess with, like there's some people in the chat like I mess with, but I appreciate everybody that comes in there and hangs out. They don't have to, they don't need to, they could go out there and do whatever the hell they want to do. So it's like I've never had somebody come up to me, and I really hope I do, but I've had people that like, and that's the thing now, people are more respective and more like people have asked, they're like, well, what happened? Or they're not like, you know what I mean? Like I've had people just come on and be like, well, what's wrong with you? Or like they don't ask like the right question, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, if you ask me what's wrong, like, I don't mind telling you, but don't just come on and be like, what the hell's wrong with your arm? So I haven't had anybody come up to me and do that, but I really hope with all the views and everything and the subscribers and everything, I hope there is somebody out there that I am proving that if you do have cerebral palsy, you could do anything. You could sit here, you could talk about wrestling, you could, I mean, and that's the thing, like there's so many people that like I see on the news, and I'm in some cerebral palsy groups because of all the groups that are out there, and there's people that I see, and it just it scares me, to be honest, because I think about it, I'm like, that could have been me. Like I was supposed to be in a wheelchair. I was not supposed to be able to talk. We're not supposed to be having this conversation right now. And the fact that I'm sitting here, I'm able to drive and walk, and a big shout out to my mom, because my mom took me to therapy. My mom did everything that she had to do, and if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here, and I might be getting fed out of a tube right now. So that's one of the things where it's just like people don't really know how much I've really gone and come from. And it's like I say, I'm a miracle baby, and I'm really not supposed to be here, but I'm here and I'm doing it. And if there's somebody out there that's like me, and that's why like I love talking to David, our friend David that we were talking about.
Shout out to David, man.
I love David, and that was like he was one of the first people that I think he was the first one to have me on as a guest on his show. And we sat there and had a conversation. It was just so cool to talk to somebody else that had it, because I didn't have any friends in high school that had it. Like, you know what I mean? There wasn't somebody like me that was like that. Everybody just judged me, and I was the person that was out of place because I was disabled. And like I said earlier, they wanted to put me in like a disabled gym class, and it was like, I could play the sports. I'm okay. Like, yes, it might affect me. Yes, I can't play badminton. You throw there's some sports I have a hard time playing, but I definitely figure it out. Like, I play baseball, basketball, I bowl. I do, like, I'm a sports fanatic. That's all my life is, sports and wrestling. And then, you know, and my family. So it's just
Love
like,
that.
and that's
I
the
love
thing.
that.
And that's the thing where yes, it's affected me, but I'm not going to let it stop me anymore.
I love that. Hey, major shout out to David. He just got word that now officially at UCF, major shout out to University of Central Florida, they will have National Cerebral Palsy Month on the month of October. So major shout out to them on that. That's something that
I didn't know that there was a month of it. That's
I mean, I think it was a day. I think it's a day or a month. I don't know for a fact. We could probably reach out to him and figure that out.
It's a month.
I want to say a month, but you know, like how they bring like acknowledgement to stuff, you know, with autism awareness and stuff like that. Which,
and that's the thing, because there are so many people out there, and there's even people like I've met like that, like have like said like, you know, like there's like on the mop Courtney, like I know like Courtney and everything, like, you know, like she has some things that, like, you know, and it's just like, it's crazy to think like you don't really know who's out there, and you just need to get to know the person. And that's what bothers me the most, is the people that don't get to know me. Because if you get to know me, I'm a nice person, I'm here for you, I'll always help you out. Need a subscriber, need a retweet, need whatever you need, need a friend to talk to, need someone to hang out with. But I mean, I'm always here for you. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm always here for you, but I just want the same in return. It needs to be both ways, no matter what it is. Friends, girlfriends, relationship, family. It can't be give. You got to give and take. And that's just the biggest thing, where it's just like, because it's funny, because people are like, oh, well, I just don't know why. And it's so funny, because when people get to know me, they're like, oh, I didn't think you were this way at all. It's like, well, because you didn't get to know me. You judged me on what I look like. There's more to me than just what I look like with the red hair and the freckles and the ginger and the no salt. You know? Like, come on now.
Being salty over here, salty Tino.
I mean, no, that's Sundays or Mondays, and whenever the Bears and White Sox play. And that was the other thing. Like, when I used to watch sports, bro, I could not. I would swear at the TV. I wouldn't. It was my dad would.
Oh, like I was doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you like that. You thought that was bad. That was funny.
I was PG. I was PG on the camera, but before that camera, because I remember when you were like, "Hey, you want to hop on?" I'm like, I don't know if you want to get blocked.
But and that's the thing, where it was just like, and that was the thing, like, I've always been a sports fan and everything, but the pain that I have as a sports fan is just like, and that's like the other thing, where I finally have gotten to the point where, like, I realize, like, there's another season, the Bears suck, they're this and that, because for a long time there, sports were my life, and like I would have a panic attack if the Sox lost.
Isn't that funny though? Like, every year we're thinking something is going to change. Yes. Every year. And it never does. As a Miami Hurricane fan, I'm thinking, you know, hey, we got these recruits, we got this new coach. We're gonna be ready. We're gonna be ready. And then go and get our ass whooped by Florida State by 40 in our home. And then it's like, oh, okay.
Yup.
And usually it's like every year it's like, so what team is gonna win the most? Usually my Hurricanes beat the Jags more than anything. This year, a whole different transition.
And that's where, like, that's why, like, a few years ago when the Sox were good, it was like, I was finally like, oh, thank God. But now, 2 years later, we're back in this position. You just really know. I feel like the Sox are the Jaguars. They had one good year, and now they're shitty again. We got to wait another 3 years? Shit. Don't sign me up. I can't.
It's insane. And it's so crazy how we take so. The craziest thing I love about sports is we put so much emotion, everything into our team, knowing that what we're gonna get result is not probably the best.
I've been thinking about that too, and it's just one of those things where I've like, what's up, Eric? What's up, bro? Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tried to tell everybody, Warren, trying to help you out. Guy, get you. You're on the road to 300. So what are you 6 away now? Got everybody subscribed.
6 away.
Jadis, Jordan, and Eric all subscribed. Get him to 300. Let's go.
There we go. Let's go. But hey, man, I just loved how you were talking about, you know, with cerebral palsy and stuff like that, because a lot of people see it as just an issue. Like, people see it as, oh, you know, they're not able to function and stuff. With me having a special needs son, I have learned patience. And major shout out to your mom on that, because I know that had to be tough on her.
Yeah.
And
I tell her that all the time because it's one of those
the
things.
story
like,
that David told us too about with his mom and everything, and it's just crazy that people go through stuff like this all the time.
And you just never know, and that's the thing that scares me because I think about it, and it's like there's times I go upstairs and like cry and hug my mom, like thank you, because I watch a commercial, I see a TV show that these people are like this, and they say cerebral palsy, and I'm just like, oh my, like this could have been me, and that's like, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to see anybody ever go through that, and that's just, it's awful because we all just want to be living and functioning adults and be able to do things on our own. And it's awful these diseases and things take that away from people that just don't deserve it, because it's just like, you know, and like that's a lot of things like people don't understand too, because like, and that's like the thing like with like the marijuana and stuff, like the medical stuff, is like people don't realize like there's more stuff that we have to go through. Like for example, like my arm gets really tight for like, so like if there's times where like my arm gets like tight and it's like stuck, and it like scares me because I haven't had it happen in so long. And it's like that's kind of like where like the weed and stuff helps, where it's like it like releases the muscle, like I was saying earlier, and it's just like it's like things that like that have like helped me, like therapy and like stretching it and stuff, that like, you know, it's just one of those things that everybody has a different situation and you just really don't know. But just because we have it doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation with me. I go on for 4 hours about wrestling. Let's go. We could talk about it all day long.
Hey. So. All right, man. We're on our last segment. It's called the Q&A.
Q&A.
So, I'm going to ask you 5. You can ask me 5. So, let's go with the first one. I think everybody's curious. What is your favorite movie?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Probably have to go Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
I love Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler has been
old school Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, old school. I've loved Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. I've seen every movies. I tried to watch 8 Crazy Nights on my movie watch along for the Christmas. Nobody even wanted to do it, so I went and watched it myself. I know. Nobody picked it. I was like, dang. I was like, that's what I wanted. So I went and watched it by myself, and it's I love Adam Sandler no matter what. He's my guy.
That's one of his best films.
And Adam Sandler is what I want to be. I want to walk around in sweatpants, a thrift store T-shirt, and have $1 million sitting in my bank account. That's what I want to do.
The craziest thing is he's always married to like the hottest girl in his movies, and his wife is always
in his movies.
Always married to the weirdest looking dude in the movie.
Bro, you remember Just Go With It when he went with him and Jennifer Aniston, and then she was married? It's just so funny. Like, bro, I love him.
And his wife popped up, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, he don't ever want to be married to his wife in the movie.
he was in That's My Boy for like 2 seconds before she dumped his ass because of the big nose.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the Billy Madison movies and stuff like that. Like I could go it's one of the good. I could watch it and still feel like
Happy Gilmore's got to be my top Adam Sandler film.
He probably number 2. I love that because of the golf and just and that's the thing with the sports movies too. That was always my thing. I always needed to watch a movie.
Those would be more entertaining than watching the sport. I can't sit there and watch someone play golf. But watching Adam Sandler play against, Shooter McGavin and all them, I was crying laughing.
It's so
great that thing, especially with his ass playing in the miniature golf course. You're gonna die, clown.
and then the fact when he just and then his swing was the best because it was so funny because then I would try to go outside and try to reenact it because we had a huge backyard.
My gosh! I tried that. I tried that at Top Golf.
Oh God!
I pray for the cart.
Oh God!
It was good. Oh.
We were playing golf in our backyard one time, and one of my friends decided to do it, and he hit it so hard he broke a window on our neighbors. Not
he did the Happy Gilmore.
We were never allowed to play golf in our backyard ever again after that.
Oh man, I wasn't allowed to throw a baseball in the backyard anymore.
Oh,
ever. So my dad would throw. So when I would throw my dad would throw hard as could be, and he was a left-handed.
Oh, God.
And every time he would throw it, I could catch 2 of them, and then I'd move, and he would crack one of the freaking fences.
Oh.
And he'd get so move. I said, Dad, I ain't catching that. All right, so question number 2. Your favorite comedian.
Favorite comedian, Jeff Dunham. I think I've watched every.
Jeff Dunham?
Yes.
He's
Jeff
still
Dunham.
early, though.
Huh?
It's still pretty early though. I love Jeff Dunham, but yeah.
I don't know.
What's your favorite? Out of all the characters that he has, which one is your favorite?
Ahmed.
Okay.
Ahmed or the fat guy with I forget what his name is.
Bubba Ray.
Yeah, Bubba Ray. There we go. Bubba.
What's his name?
Oh my god! But yeah, that was the one. Like my dad loves those too, because like we'd watch all the roasts and everything like that. And Jeff Dunham was always just the one that like was always.
I love how he just jokes on himself.
He's
so already been through like so many marriages.
And I don't like many comedians. I'm one of those where I have a very hard. Like it's funny, but I have a very bad attention span. So I have a very hard. Like I need to be interested. That's why I watch a lot of reality shows. I watch Big Brother, Survivor, The Challenge, the new show Traders on Peacock. Like I love all those shows. Competition shows, people competing, getting rid of each other, elimination. That's why I love the Royal Rumble too. Like I think I've seen every Royal Rumble match about at least 3 times, and because I just love watching people get eliminated after each other. It's so great. I don't know why. Oh yeah, Jeff Dunham.
Okay.
My God.
Ahmed. Mine was Peanut.
Peanut.
Peanut and Walter. Peanut and Walter are the most classics.
So Walter is the best.
Walter would be getting into Jeff. It would be so funny. And the funny thing is when he has these puppets, you really think these puppets just do not like him. And he's talking for
and it's just so funny because he just makes it feel so real. And that was the thing I always loved about him, because like I would watch these and I would forget they were puppets. Like I'm watching this, I think he's having a conversation with this dude.
I love it. All right. Who do you think's going to the Super Bowl?
Right now? My pick was Brady, because I just thought they were setting it up because the Super Bowl, the movie that was coming out the week before,
divorced.
got to, all that fun stuff. But now, my unpredictable Super Bowl, I would love to see it, is the Jaguars and Giants. 2 unpredictable teams, that would just be fantastic. But more realistic, most likely, probably the Bills or Chiefs. Because I just don't think the Jaguars are going to win. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see your Jaguars Duval all day long. Take it all the way. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs and Bengals in the championship. And then I'm going to take, I don't know why, but I just feel like there's going to be a team in the NFC that we might not see. And I don't know why, that I just, what the hell was what? I'm gonna take the 49ers or Giants to win. But if I have to pick a Super Bowl matchup right now, I'm gonna say the Chiefs and 49ers again. Because I just feel like, I don't know, man. Brock, the defense, I don't know if anybody's beating anybody. I don't know if anybody's beating the 49ers. I really don't. The AFC, honestly, I don't mind any of the 4 teams left. So, last 2 matches after Rumble. Last 2. Who? Huh?
Last 2 get title matches at the Rumble at WrestleMania.
Oh, so fun fact. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. This is something. What's up, Trumblebee? My moderator.
Oh, okay.
I finally got a moderator.
Those are needed.
Yes, very much so. We had to kick out 9 people last Tuesday for NXT.
Really?
Yes, people were literally coming in the chat, calling me lame and calling me all these names, and then one person started spelling out a word that should not be said at all. And it was just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, don't come in here. I was like, get them out. So yeah, so I gotta find a couple more. But now I lost where I was going with that. The Royal Rumble. Did you notice, we were talking about 2005. Did you notice that probably 80% of the time that the girls or guys, the final 2, have always main evented WrestleMania? 2005, John Cena and Batista, 2 champions. 2006, we had Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Triple H. Rey Mysterio faced Orton and Kurt Angle in the championship. 2007, it was Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. And it was like something that, like, if you notice, the final 2 in every Royal Rumble, 80% of the time, usually is the 2 that main event that show the following year. So it's funny that he mentioned that, because, yeah, I did a short on it and I called him out. I'm like, damn, I figured it out. Because it was like, for a while there, it was just like, really? Like, that's what you're trying to do? Okay.
All right. Question 4.
Okay, well, 4th question. Let's go.
How's your look from wrestling right now? What out of all the brands right now, what's been the one that's been catching your eye the most?
SmackDown. I feel like SmackDown's the best weekly show on the TV. No matter what, 2 hours, perfect time. The storylines are great. Friday nights, it flows. It goes fast. It doesn't drag like 3 hours of Raw. It doesn't drag like sometimes NXT does. It doesn't drag like AEW sometimes. I feel like Friday nights is probably my favorite live streams to do every week because I know people are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people. Show's good. We got the Usos. We got Usi. We got all that. And I love SmackDown and always will. It's like we talked about with UPN and earlier. SmackDown's always been my show, no matter what. Like GM mode, WWE, always pick SmackDown no matter what. It's just SmackDown all the way. They need to get rid of that 3rd hour of Raw, man. It's just too long. Like last night, the game was over by halftime, and it's just like I don't know. Like I just feel like
I think they did that just because of like with the NFL.
I don't know.
Especially on Monday Night Football. I think it is smart because you got to think. While the pregame's up, you can watch Raw. Raw's going to have your promotes, your interviews and stuff like that. Then when it gets further into the thing, you can go back and forth because Raw's going to be on until 11-something o'clock.
Oh, I know. It's just I'm sleepy by like 9:30. I'm like here on my watch along. At least on like Tuesdays and stuff, it's like okay, 9 o'clock. I'm ready to go. I'm still have a little energy, but that last hour gets me, bro.
I give people props. I mean,
that's why
I pick what I'm watching that week. So say like if I pick WWE, I'll watch that, and then I'll probably watch 1 or 2 Impact shows that week. And then obviously I'll do 1 week where I'll do AEW, just watch AEW that week. Gotcha, and then obviously YouTube is a sensation for some of these things.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, because I honestly didn't want to do AEW at first, because I didn't start doing AEW until Double or Nothing last year, I think it was. I think that was my first AEW, because I introduced that a little bit later on, because that was the thing, because people were like, you should go live for NXT, you should go live for Dynamite, because they wanted me to. And if that's what the people want, that's what the people get. So it was one of those things, because I was only doing Raw and SmackDown watch-alongs at first. And then I started doing more, and now it's every day. And that was like, because people were like, where are you? And I felt like I was missing something. I was like, why am I not live? I'm sitting here watching this in my room. I could just go live and do it. So that was the thing when I finally just decided to do every show. But yeah, it's hard to keep up on all of it, man. I don't know how the heck I do it. And then all the other shows that are out there and movies, and I don't even watch any other TV shows. I watch wrestling and then whatever sports are on. That's about it. Like, literally. I can't tell. Bro, I'm in 2028 of Madden. I play Madden so much.
Oh, I play. I've been playing online lately.
I
smoked this one guy. He had the Chiefs recently, and I was whacking him.
You Jaguars?
Yes. Trevor Lawrence was like unbeatable that day. I actually ran a touchdown with Trevor. No, the funny thing is, so you know how like in the game you run with the quarterback, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna fumble when they get hit, right?
Every time.
Trevor ran.
So annoying.
Trevor broke 2 tackles. Trevor fumbled. They ran it halfway back, and the dude started celebrating. So I sticked him, fumble. So now we're running all the way back. Christian Kirk fumbled at the ending because I like to pitch. So I pitched it thinking it was going to pitch to the other guy. The other guy picked it up, so he started running back. He started doing the little celebration game, got hit again. Literally, this play was like for a good solid 2 minutes. Wow. And we scored at the end, and then the dude quit.
Bro, I would have. Did you ever play the old Madden games back in like 2007? My cousin and I used to play, because what we used to do is, because he's the one that kind of got me into video games.
I love the ones that had Vic in it.
Yes, so we would play like the older ones, and we would play on the Xbox, and so we would use Devin Hester at the time. And Vic and Devin Hester, I feel like, were the two. So we would do the kickoff returns. We would run backwards. We would go to the end zone. We'd run.
Oh, the kickoff game thing. Yeah,
like we go in a giant circle, and nobody could catch us because he was so goddamn fast. So we would do like 3 rounds and just keep going. It was just so great. But
I remember when you actually could put anybody in the kick and return team, and I always would pick Marshall Faulk. I'd put Marshall Faulk to run ones back. I always put Fred Taylor to run them back. I mean, I always pick like the speediest guys. Devin Hester's still one of my favorite players.
They let you do it now, but you got to wait until after the franchise is over, and then you can do
exactly. That don't make no sense.
It's like, come on now. Like I
get it. Y'all want to make it look real, but come on, man. It's a game. It's a video game.
There was one year, I forgot who I traded for a receiver, and I made him a tight end so I could use him because I had too many receivers. Because I didn't want to. I had no good tight end at the time, so I just put him as a tight end. I was like, screw it.
I love
was
it.
like,
All
whatever.
right, question 5.
Last one. Let's go.
Who do you think are the last 4 that are going to be in the Rumble?
This year, men or women?
Let's go with men.
Okay, I'm gonna say Cody. I'm gonna say a surprise. Don't know who. Because I feel like there should be surprises, right? Because that's what it's
easily.
all about. I feel like. I'm gonna say Seth because I feel like they're gonna tease Cody and Seth at some point, and they're gonna be in the rings. And I feel like Cody might not enter till last. And I don't know why I have a feeling that Seth might be the Iron Man.
I think Cody's going to go a little earlier. They can't have him go last.
Do you think like that's the thing? I don't know because they keep going back.
If you really want the fans to get behind him, he has to go like at 15 or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Edge did his.
Yeah, that would be good. And so I'm gonna say Cody, Seth, a surprise, and I'm gonna say somebody that maybe like I'm gonna say like Carmelo Hayes from like NXT. I feel like there's gonna be like an NXT.
You think Carmelo's gonna get in there?
I feel it might not be Carmelo. Let's just say an NXT superstar then, because I feel like there's gonna be somebody
Probably
like
Braun.
Maybe Braun. I feel like I feel like there definitely might be more women debuting from NXT in the women's one than the men's. But I just feel like there's gonna be like that, like, cause you like that's the thing. Like as I've went back and I've watched like the old Royal Rumbles, I've noticed that there's always like the Iron Man. There's always like John Cena. There's always like Roman Reigns when he first started the Final Four. And so like I've just noticed that. So I try to take it. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Is those 4. But I think Cody and Seth, I've heard some things where I've heard people say they should start it and finish it.
I thought this would be a good idea, actually.
Cody
if you
at
really
1,
got Cody behind him at 1.
I mean, imagine that entrance. I mean, and that's the thing, because he could be the Iron Man. He
get that spotlight entrance first thing on him.
And if he is as healthy as he says that he is, and as healthy as he looks in that package yesterday,
he is. He's
put him out there. Because the way that I was at that Hell in the Cell watching him live, and 7 months later,
how was that viewership? Like, bro, obviously we see it on TV.
I've been to a bunch of Raw. I've been to SmackDown. I went to Survivor Series in 2019 before the pandemic. Me and my friend went for that whole weekend. But we sat up in the 200 level. So for my birthday, I took all the money I saved. I took my cousin, and we went to Hell in the Cell. We stayed in the hotel and everything like that. And we had seats in the first, like the 100 level, 3rd row. And it was like, so like, you know where the floor's at? You have all the floor seats, and then you see the balcony. I was 3 rows from that. So when you look straight at the Hell in the Cell, you could see everything. But obviously, because the stupid goddamn red ring that we have for no goddamn effing reason, that we need to get rid of it to bring back the silver one because nobody can see in it. It was great to see, but I remember him taking it because you got to think, I was live in Rosemont all weekend. I had no idea about these rumors with Cody. I didn't realize how bad his pec was. I didn't see it. Because I really wasn't paying attention. I was watching my cousin. I was trying to make beats. I was playing video games. We were live for NXT and everything. So when he took that off, I was just like, holy shit. And still watching that match, because I came back.
Seeing it in person, too. Like, you're just seeing this dark all over his skin.
Bro, I was like, every time he took bro, I told my cousin, I'm like, bro, and like, I had like because we had a poster. We made the poster I was telling you about. I had the poster next to me. I just thought, like, how is this man doing it? And then, because when we were sitting there, when I went back to the hotel, because I'm lame, I went back and watched it because that's what I do. I watch wrestling.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
So I went back to the hotel. My uncle picked up my cousin because he didn't want to stay at the hotel. I went back to the hotel and I watched it. And when I heard Corey Graves say the broken wing and all of that, and I was like, how did this man compete? Like, it was awful. Like, and then him saying that he wanted to go out there for us. Like, that made me emotional because I'm like, this man literally went out there and put his body on the line for all of us in Chicago to watch him and Seth put on one of the best matches that we've seen. And I could just not imagine.
You also got to think, Roman was supposed to lose the title a lot earlier than what people know. If he was healthy, he would have got a slam.
If Cody was healthy, the stuff that they would have done, I bet you any amount of money Cody wanted to go on top of the cage. I bet you any amount of money there were more that they wanted to do, but once that they happened,
you have no idea what he really wanted to do, and
that's the thing. And
that is, like, and with Seth as well, he was ready to have a field day with that.
So watching that live is something that I will never forget. And then actually after the show, I did like a vlog on it. he went and he said it, and he goes, "Thank you, everybody from Chicago. I did this for you guys." And I'm sitting there like getting emotional because I'm like, damn, like he literally, because like, and that was the thing, like I never really stayed after a show, so I never really seen what happened. So him to take the time out and bring the cage up and him talking to us was just great, and just seeing that moment and that Hell in the Cell match was great, and the whole rivalry and just everything. It's just one of those things that I'm never gonna forget. And like I said, 7 months later, still trying to figure out how this man competes. So I cannot wait to see him back in the Rumble. I can't wait to see him win that title. It's gonna be so great. I want him to bring that, because that's the thing, like too, with like Cody's return. That was my first ever watch along. Night 1 WrestleMania was my first ever watch along. So Cody kind of has a place in like mine, because I still remember that reaction like it was yesterday. Me sitting here with my little YouTube setup, and like it's one of those things that something that we never thought would happen, and then now here we are. And especially like when I went back and we were like watch all the Royal Rumbles to see how much he's grown from 2007 to now. It's like night and day. Skinny, no knee pads, Cody Rhodes, gold dust, like stardust.
I've sat here and said, AJ created the indies. AJ's the best indie guy that's ever came out of wrestling, period, in my opinion. But Cody brought fame to the independents.
Yeah.
He put a spotlight onto the independents. I think Matt Cardona's going to pop in at the Rumble. I already know this is about to happen.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's the type of surprise I'm saying. Like there's going to be somebody, and I'll tell you this:
it won't be Zack Ryder either. It'll be Matt Cardona.
If the women's one is first, and if we see Chelsea Green,
Sasha's coming out.
We see Chelsea Green. We're going to see Matt Cardona. If we see, like, you already know. And, like, that's the types of things, too. Like, if you...
That's the same thing that people thought with Taker, though. When Taker's wife came out, and Taker didn't come out that year.
I thought he was in that Rumble that year, no?
No, the one that she was out. He was supposed to come out, but he wanted just to have her moment.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember, it was on his documentary that he was sitting in the back.
That's right. When he and then he shot the Kobe thing or whatever. That's right. Okay, that's right. Okay, but yeah, no, and that's the thing where it's just like I don't know, but I think we do. I want to see Matt Cardona, and and that's the other thing, like seeing how far he's come from, like the Internet Championship and all of this, and it's so great. You just don't know, like people.
We will. Me too. Me too,
man. And that's the
Jordan.
Thing. Watching.
If you don't know me, half my paychecks are Project Rock.
Watching Stone Cold wrestle last year at WrestleMania.
The water that I had for his watch along was Terramana. Just saying.
He said Terramana. What? Did you say the water you had?
We're going with water.
Sure, water. That's
what
my
clear.
dad says. That's what my dad says when he's using Sprite and vodka. Because it's clear. I'm just drinking water. Okay, Dad.
It's clear.
You know what you're drinking.
It's clear.
It's clear. Sure it is.
All right, Tino. I gave you 5 questions. Now, the floor is yours.
Oh, now I gotta ask you questions. Damn, man. What the heck? Why are you putting me on the spot like this?
This is the Tino time.
Oh, now. So you want me to take over now? I see. Well, okay. So I don't know if I've ever asked you. So who is your favorite? Who are your favorite other sports teams besides the Jaguars?
All sports or which one?
Like, yeah, all sports. Like all sports that you watch.
Basketball, Orlando Magic, baseball. When I really cared for baseball, I like the St. Louis Cardinals. I was a big King Griffey fan. Love King Griffey.
Bro, I love that. That's Seattle.
Any team that King Griffey was on, I loved.
Hey, he was on the White Sox for a year.
He was. He was.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
get that jersey though.
Bro, the White Sox had Manny Ramirez too. Shit.
They did. Yeah, I forgot about that. They did have
Kevin Youkilis. They had I could go on.
I love Derek Jeter and King Griffey. Those were my two favorite. Derek Jeter and King Griffey.
Did you watch Did you watch the Captain documentary with Jeter? So good.
So freaking good.
I watched everything like that.
But basketball, I got it. Any team that JJ Redick played for, I love JJ Redick. I compared so much with JJ Redick. My number one favorite basketball player was Tracy McGrady.
I love Tracy. Tracy was the best.
T-Mac, man. If he never got hurt, that would probably been like he'd probably been over Jordan, in my opinion. In my opinion, he would have been over Jordan.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
number one Magic fan, as you can tell, Magics don't do a damn thing in any year of the form. I will make posts when we actually beat big name teams like Golden State Warriors and stuff, just to name a few lately. But
if the Bulls can do that, but the problem is they can't.
Favorite wrestler of any era?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you I was gonna ask you what was your first match that you remember ever. So I mean, if you want to.
First match ever I remember?
Like what was like I said, 2005 Royal Rumble was the first one I vividly remember. Like I remember having my friend Anthony over. We did the threw him off the bunk bed, stuff like that. Like what was the first one you remember as like kid growing up that you remember where you were at, what you ate for dinner? Like
it had to be Rock and Stone. I mean Rock and Triple H. Rock and Triple H. I mean the first time I ever laid eyes on The Rock was when The Rock and Undertaker were going against each other. I really thought Taker was from the dead.
So did I.
This dude was fucking just weird. I mean, it's not normal to be rolling your eyes in the back of your head. I was terrified of Taker.
Bro.
People had Freddie, Jason, all them. Taker was mine.
Bro.
And actually, it probably was Taker and Rock. Taker and Rock.
What year was that?
It was the Jesus. Rock was 27. That's all I know.
Let me go watch Young Rock real quick. Maybe they'll show it.
It ain't on there yet. It'll pop up soon.
But I love that show. You guys haven't watched that show? Go watch Young Rock. It's a great story. It tells.
I got a friend my friend is the acting for Stone Cold. So
shut up, really.
Luke, yeah,
bro, that's so funny, bro. It's so
real
great.
cool,
like when these guys do that, like on the show, and it's so funny. They're like, "It's the bottom line." Cause Stone Cold, I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
He's having fun
like,
with it.
It's just so great. It's just like
he's
a
real good guy. Real good guy.
You want me to bring John Cena? I'll come out and be John Cena for the WrestleMania 28. You know, like that. Like that's so cool. Like, you know.
Imagine if that ever does happen. They do a documentary for Cena. Cena's.
That would be. Oh, I'd cry. That would be when I would feel like. Oh,
that's Hollywood Rock. That's Hollywood Rock.
Hollywood Rock. Oh,
that was probably the best gimmick ever did with him.
Yeah, that was when
they tried so hard to get the fans to hate him.
Oh, they did
so hard.
They did, and it was one of those things because I think when he finally started going over, it was with like the Rock concert and everything, and when he started like making fun of people, and he started like getting the like showing.
He was going over ring time that he was supposed to be going. That he was on. He was really bad at it at first. People really hated Rock because he would go over the time limit and promos.
It's good.
Exactly.
If it's good, it's good. The hell, I'd rather watch a Rock concert than watch another talk show with the Miz or whatever the hell they want to do.
I like Miz.
I love the Miz too. I just think it's funny that and
I absolutely hated him when he was younger though.
Bro, because I watched him when he was on the Real World. My mom and dad watched that and everything, and the challenge and everything. And I went back on Peacock.
I always believed that he should have been one that won Tough Enough.
Yes. I forgot that he was on Tough Enough too, because that was another thing. Like I went back and when you remember when Maven came out and he eliminated the Undertaker.
I was a big Maven fan. I love Maven's entrance song was amazing.
Oh, it was so great. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like if you think about that too, like where like all those superstars come from. Like I was talking yesterday, like about like Keith Lee being a security guard and everything. Like, you never know who the hell is gonna be. Like some security guard now could be the next champion. Like I say it all the time. Sheamus has been one. Like
believe it or not. So my first house show we got to go to, Randy Orton was a security guard.
Funny as hell. That's great.
Randy was a security guard,
and that's where they put him.
And then debuted in the dark match, and then wrestled in the dark match.
Of course he did.
And then when they did the actual show, then Orton was security guard.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that works. What's up, Jadis? Jadis, I don't know what you're doing, bro. So
all right. So what was that? Question 2?
Was that 2 or 3?
I think it was 2.
Okay, so number 3. So with all of this nonsense going on with Vincent Kennedy and McMahon, do you think he's coming back? I want to get your opinion.
The Skip Bayless of wrestling.
Oh my God, this Skip Bayless of wrestling. Jadis, what'd you send me on Discord, bro? I made a Discord and now this man texts me like we're best friends.
You better stop. You're going to unsubscribe.
That's right. I tell him, like, I'm going to block you. I'm like, I like it. I can obviously messing with.
Okay, so
he goes. What?
We
if
ready for this? Are we ready for this?
Well, let's hear it.
I've heard everyone's else point of view. I've even kind of like tried to stay off of camera when I don't have to say my point of view on it. People have been messaging me on it, but I love when they ask me and then they get mad when I say it.
It's your opinion. It's
so
like, we all can have our.
My
own
biggest
opinion.
thing is that's what I get a high for that. I really do. I really love the fact that people just want to disagree with me. That's what made me and Blackheart just like perfect duo together. If anybody want an entertainment episode, you saw me and Blackheart go one-on-one against each other, like you would probably need a diaper because there was too much laughing. And if I see Blackheart have the little vein go across his head, and then he gets me to cut my camera off, you know we've actually hit a emotion on that. But my take on it is, oh boy, here we go. Vince is there to sell, obviously to get a TV rights deal. If nobody remember, then Fox lost a lot of damn money putting WWE on their channel. So there's a hit or miss on that, but SmackDown's been doing a lot better now. So I think they're going to get that TV rights deal a lot faster. Vince is possibly thinking of selling, but I don't think it's to like Saudi Arabia and all that. They're not going to sell to Saudi Arabia. First of all, you want to know why? WWE is a worldwide. People really get upset about them going to Saudi Arabia, even though that's a hell of a payday.
For Vince.
No, for everybody. Everybody's not going to deny to take that payday. That's a WrestleMania payday plus 2 payday for everybody.
Oh, and that's the thing. Like, if people have noticed, they've tried to put on WrestleMania type shows when they go over there, but the problem is they're using like.
Honestly, the shows have been very good. That's even the crazier part.
Yeah, they haven't been bad. It's just like there's something like when Bray.
It gives you like that WrestleMania feature when you watch these.
Yeah, except it's at noon here because.
Yep. I actually like that because when I was working on, during the week and stuff, so it was perfect for me because I was just getting off. I'm like, oh, I can go watch the Saudi Arabia show. I mean, and then I tune in. I was really excited about watching Undertaker and Goldberg. I really loved the build-up promo video and stuff. And I said, please don't let Goldberg do the pregame ritual where he just wants his head on the thing. How's it going, April?
What's up, Mom? How you doing? It's my mom.
Hey, how you doing?
Buddy is up.
He was talking about you for a good solid 30 minutes.
I was giving you a shout out, giving you some credit.
But I was so devastated when that match went to the way it was. But also, you got to think that crowd, they thought that was like a WrestleMania type match for them because they watch wrestling different than how we watch stuff. They don't got dirt sheets and stuff like we do.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference that people don't understand is like to them, like I always feel like they
thank you.
They try so hard to put on these shows that they're like trying to put on like a WrestleMania feel, and that's what people don't get. I guess I do got a whole lot of friends. I try. I try to be a good guy.
Popular,
but I try.
But with the Vince thing, my thing is, first of all, we're going to get this out. Stephanie did not leave because of how the company is going. Stephanie left because she had injuries that she needed to take care of.
She literally went and had surgery 2 days ago.
She just had surgery on her ankle.
Like you tell me that's not suspicious. You're telling me she left because Vince is in charge. She left because she wants to go get her body taken care of. She's not.
The heart attack that Triple H had really took an effect on her.
Well, that's the thing. They don't understand what goes behind the scenes. Imagine how much Stephanie was taking on with all the kids, with WWE, with her father, with all
three
the
girls.
shit.
3 girls.
Guy dad. I cannot imagine having 3 girls. Like I
have one, and I lose my mind for 2.
I was gonna say. So it's just like, oh my God, bro. Like it just like there's so much more. And that's why like when people say stuff about it, it's just like Jadis was freaking out like about it like one night. Like he's like, oh my God, WWE's being sold. I'm done. I'm doing this and that. Like when it came out, I had people literally messaging me, asking me if
Disney WrestleMania main event gonna be Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse and
Mickey
Roman.
Mouse
Let's
versus
do it.
Roman Reigns.
Let's do it. Like, I had people texting me, asking me if I wanted to buy their collection because they were going to sell. I'm like, guys, this is rumors. Like, nothing is happening right now. Like, everybody needs to relax. Like, Stephanie left because she's having something go on. 2 days later, she's having surgery. So it's just
He
one
said
of
he was
those
shocked.
things. It's just one of those things that it's just like, oh my god, like you just never, like you can't believe everything until, and that's, and when
I
that's-
love it though. I love it just because it makes you talk your junk.
yeah.
You want to do what you want, and
Yeah.
people
that's
are now
the-
starting to see the acknowledgement of Dave Meltzer and how much oblivious all his nonsense is as well.
Bro, what about the guy that put the tweet out, and then he put the tweet out for Sasha Banks showing up at Dynamite, and none of it happened, and now nobody believes a word that he says. It's like, why would you put that out there just to ruin your credibility? Like, that's so dumb.
Like people feel like they know the business, the ins and outs, and I laugh about it.
Everybody is a WWE commissioner in their own right, that they want it to be their own way. And it's just like, like shit.
And plus, he's in the Rumble. Hold on, what did he say? Omos versus Roman.
God,
Do you want to see that? Because we were debating last night if people want to see that. No. Now, my thing about Omos is an attraction, and they were trying to get it to where he had like that Andre plateau of what they have, because Omos is a freakishly huge specimen. You don't see people as big as Omos. And I realized, Omos was bringing representation to actually African. Like, he's from Africa, like his culture and stuff. If anybody remembers, it's called the $1 Million Arm or something like that. That's the documentary based off of him.
Oh, true. Okay. See, I didn't know that. And
it was based off of him. He was the pitcher.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that. He was on Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast, like during SummerSlam and everything, and he told a story about when he was like younger, about how tall he is, and how like he wasn't supposed to be like able to live after a certain age because of how tall he is, kind of like
for giantism.
Yep. Yeah, for the giantism thing. And it was like him telling his story and everything. Like, I still don't like Omos and everything, but him telling a story and everything like that was like, damn, he's just like another human being. And I think that's a problem with like a lot of people. They don't realize like I say a lot. The biggest thing
people don't realize is he doesn't have to do this.
Well, yeah, and that's like, and I try to tell people like with like, especially nowadays, like our generation, we see people that like have anxiety, depression, and stuff, and it takes these guys
for a while.
No, yeah, Jade.
It's gonna be Bobby and Brock.
Yep, that's what they're leading to. Third match at WrestleMania, I think, is what they're leading to most likely.
He's in the, but here's the thing: he's gonna be like a Kane. He's gonna be the guy that's gonna get a lot of eliminations, and he might be able to be a showcase, because Rumble is always symbolized for the big men.
Yes,
if you remember, Roman got that look at first. People really thought Roman was big and just could not move, and Roman eliminated 14 guys in a Rumble, and you really started watching
13 and a half without,
and that's why they literally split the Shield, because they saw something in Roman, and you got even way more out of Seth. Like, for the longest time, I didn't really know what Seth was in WWE until they got that split. Then the heat that he had from that split was like
I remember
Punk
that
vibes to me.
That was like, and that was what got him, because that was like at the time, like I remember watching that Raw. And when that happened and everything, I think that was like one of the things was just like he needed to do that to go and be on his own to be where he's at now.
Pay-per-view.
Judgment Day versus Usos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might happen. I don't know.
It's happening next week on
it will kind of kill their credibility going into the Rumble, but never know. I mean, it is Raw 30, so
I mean, they trying to make it big time. They bringing all the legends out. We got Kane, we got Undertaker, we got Holla Holla Holla. Teddy Long, who's going one-on-one with the dead man? It's you, Warren.
In the steel cage.
Inside. No, that's Becky and Bailey. And then Undertaker pops out.
Teddy Long always says someone's going one-on-one with Undertaker in a steel cage.
Yep, it's so great. Bro, it's so funny.
That would be funny if they actually did that skit and Taker comes out and is like, enough of your nonsense.
Oh, my God. Let's see Teddy Long and Undertaker go one-on-one. That'd be fantastic. He was my favorite.
Teddy actually has a training facility in Georgia.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Is that what he's been doing? I didn't even know that.
He has a wrestling school, yeah.
Oh, true. That's a fun fact. I didn't know that.
Teddy actually wrestled. for a little bit.
I knew that. I didn't know when, but like I remember seeing like one, and then he was a referee too at one point.
So when you get into wrestling, like your first jobs are obviously going to be like security ref and stuff like that. Teddy just became a way better ref than what he was from everything else, and that's what he got stuck with, and got money made out of it. And think of it this way, refing. I mean, it's not fully easy, but you're not hurting your body as much as being in the ring. So,
are you watching NXT? Do you watch NXT too, or no?
What's up?
Do you watch NXT? Like,
I gotta watch my nephew, man. My cousin Breaker.
Oh, your cousin Breaker. Cousin Breaker. Man.
Well, we're not really cousins anymore because obviously Scott is my aunt anymore, but I still acknowledge it.
I mean, it's pretty cool to say.
I've met Breaker 3 times, I think.
I mean, hey, that's pretty cool now.
Real cool, dude.
I mean, he's living
very energetic. I'll say that.
He's living the high life right now.
I didn't think he would go to wrestling, but just because of how big he was in football.
Yeah.
And his dad was really adamant he didn't want him wrestling. And obviously after the NFL released, he actually got the tryout for him to do it at WWE.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think how much he's like pushed up the envelope in like the last year.
He honestly hasn't really had a bad match.
No. He's the one that I think that will be. I think he's another one that will most likely be in the Rumble.
If he doesn't have the title, it could be a big thing, but he's not losing that title probably until the Mania weekend.
No, stand and deliver probably. But that's the thing. Like that's the other thing. Like that like throughout the last like 5 or 6 years, it seems like a lot of the time they bring the NXT Women's Champion and the NXT Champion into the Rumbles. It's like they
showcase it. It gives it a little of a showcase.
Yeah. So it's like that's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did something for Impact this week. This go around. I mean, get them a little bit out, and maybe you could probably get a New Japan guy since we had Shinsuke out there.
That's right, too. Maybe we see the Great Muta.
I don't know. He's been on AEW more than anything.
I know. Well, I know, and that's the thing, man. It's like I love like the competition between AEW and WWE, but then I don't because it's just like some of the times it's just like, what are we doing here? Like these people just get so mad for so things. It's like, why can't we just enjoy wrestling? Like we're lucky we have wrestling on weekly.
You have every type of wrestling you possibly want on TV right now.
People ask me why I don't do Impact. I'm like, listen, like I need at least one day off. Thursday's my day where I don't look at my computer and don't do anything unless I have to. Wednesday night after Dynamite, I shut it off and I don't look at it till Friday because I need like a break.
It does get a lot.
It does, and especially trying to answer everybody and doing it. It's just like sometimes, I just. Oh.
I mean, it has its. That's one thing I'll say. It has its days. All right, what you got? Question 4.
I thought this was 5. Is this 4? Am I one behind? I thought this was 4. Okay.
I think you were one behind.
So what is your I don't know how they would say it, but what is your TV show that you watch that nobody like that would know that you watch? Like, is there a show that you like your guilty pleasure? Like you don't want people to know, but like maybe I'm putting you on blast, but like
Hold on. I saw the comment and I'm waiting for it to pop on this one.
Oh.
Yes, I do. We're smoking that Patty Light this weekend.
Oh my! Well,
Patty Light.
If you say it, Warren, I'm gonna play this clip.
We're smoking the Patty Light, bro. Patty Light. Mahomes is going home.
If he knocks out, if Trevor Lawrence knocks,
it's Saturday. We undefeated on Saturdays. Trevor has never lost a game in his entire career, ever in football on Saturday. Just saying.
So crazy.
I think that's why they got it. I think that's what happened. We're gonna take that Patty Light and go bye.
I would be insane.
If we beat the Chiefs this weekend,
going Super Bowl.
They will have us as the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I just don't, bro. I just don't know if they literally have to go and beat the Chiefs.
I don't
and then you
have
gotta go and
worries
beat
about
the
our
Bills and
defense. It's just
Bengals.
the offense has got to start quick.
He just cannot turn over the ball. Don't
He
make
can't turn over the
mistakes.
ball 5-6 times like he did last week.
Oh my God, shit! I was waiting for Allen to do it another time versus the Dolphins. He kept doing the same thing. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Jadis, I really want this game to happen just because of 2017. It was supposed to have been the Eagles versus the Jags.
That's
But
right.
this one's even more meaningful because we got y'all have Gardner Minshew, and
That's
Gardner Minshew is one of my
true.
favorite Jaguar quarterbacks today.
Bro,
So it'd be Minshew versus the Jags, and Minshew's position got beaten out by Trevor Lawrence. So that would even be a cooler scenario with it.
That would be crazy. That's another one I would not mind seeing. I just don't know. Like, it just with the way this season has been going, bro. I have no idea how it's gonna go. Like, this was the first week I've actually
Two
done
teams
good on
that really
predictions.
you wouldn't expect. I think the best ending to this story with this crazy NFL season has to be the Jags.
Oh yeah,
Have the Jags make it to the Super Bowl.
Bro, imagine that would be insane. It could happen. I mean, dog, he's done it before. Oh yeah, this guy
And Doug Peterson.
Oh yeah,
Peterson. He coached the Eagles too. Yeah.
Poor Chumbleby. Poor guy. Poor Vikings fan over here. So out of our friend group, I'm a Bears fan. I got a friend that's a Packers fan. I got Chumbleby that is a Vikings fan, and all I need to find is a Lions fan. You know any Lions fans? Because we need a Lions fan to talk to. We all sit there and talk shit to each other, but we got no one to yell about the Lions. Yeah. Man. Oh. And it's so funny because if you ask this guy who's on the team, he has no idea who's on the team. It's so funny.
Oh man, no. I'm putting somebody under the bus. So my sister, she says she claims she was a diehard Gator fan, right?
Oh, here we go.
Diehard Gator fan. So I asked her, I said, name 3 players from the Florida Gators. She goes, Tim Tebow.
Did she say Cam Newton, dude?
Oh, no. The last one, this one, I think she lost her Gator card. She said Brett Favre.
Oh, God.
And I just looked at her, and she had the most serious face on her. She's like, yeah, Brett Favre was really good on our team. He was a great receiver.
Oh, my God. I can't. Like, my mom does that, and I don't like.
I was like, I cannot do this with you.
That's what I say. I'm like, I just can't. I love you, but, like, I can't.
I cried laughing so hard. I was just like...
I had so many of my family members ask me this week. They're like, are the Bears on? I'm like, no. They're like, well, why are you going live? I'm like, because there's other games on. I'm like, the Bears are.
He said, not this year. If you asked me 10 to 15 years ago, I would have told you half the roster.
This guy, what? Who was on the roster? Adrian Peterson? I'll tell you what, though. This guy, he's got a cool-ass Vikings fridge, like one of those mini fridges, like his dad bought for the Vikings. It's so cool, bro. I'm like, if I could just paint it orange and
blue, they got the running back I think we should have drafted before that.
Who?
Cook.
Oh, yeah.
We should always have drafted Cook, first-round pick. I could let that slip up.
Imagine that if he was on there. And that's the thing, like, people forget about Leonard Fournette on the Jaguars. I think people seem to forget that he was there. He wasn't just on the Buccaneers.
He was the Tim Duncan of Jacksonville, what he claimed.
Funny yourself. And he fuck
Brett Favre once. That's right, he was on there for one season.
That's 2009. That's right.
I totally forgot about that.
The year that they played the Saints in the championship
game
and they lost.
That's right.
Yep. And then the last game I remember, the last game of his career was a sack by Shane McClellan in that Wisconsin arena because they had to play there because the Metrodome like flooded and everything. They had to play on like a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night or some shit. Mm-hmm. The Bears and Vikings did. That was just man.
Push off about that Vince McMahon question. I think it's a storyline.
Bro, imagine. I would not.
That would be great,
bro.
As much as people are eating up this dirt sheet crap right now, let it be a WrestleMania match. Winner gets control of WWE. How much animosity people are going to think, oh, Vince is going to bury Triple H.
Put the ladder. Custody. Put it in the briefcase.
Put Stephanie in that little shark.
They haven't used it since 2017, so why not?
That was a great freaking concept in the match. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, it was so
What was it? KO versus
Roman at the Royal Rumble with
was
Jericho
it?
in the shark cage.
And they had Jericho in the shark. That was beautiful.
The only problem with it was that we all knew he was gonna get out. Like we all knew.
We all knew. I just love when he freaked out. Kevin.
Kevin.
I'm scared. I'm not letting go.
And then when it starts rising, he's like going up, and he's like his arm is going like this. He's like, Kevin, help me! Kevin!
Jericho said on the podcast he was terrified.
Oh, but he did.
He
say
was
that
so mad because they told him they weren't going to hold him as high as he was.
He said that was the most fun he probably had in a wrestling storyline in
Oh,
WWE
absolutely.
for a long time was with Kevin
So
Owens.
good. I was happy that I got to actually see the WrestleMania in person to see him and Jericho go at it, and the break from the walls where he the one finger. That was it for me. I loved it.
You went to WrestleMania what
33?
Oh, that 33. Well, that was on like the Hardys return and stuff, right?
Yep.
So let me ask you that for one question. How would you ask me about the Hell in the Cell reaction? How was being there live for the Hardy Boys?
So, the most over group at WrestleMania was the New Day. New Day was super hot that year. They were super hot that year. The favorite of that ladder match before them, everybody thought Enzo and Cass were finally going to win the titles.
That's who I thought too, for sure.
And my wife was big on Enzo and Cass. Like my wife knew all the NXT guys. Like my wife, that's how she started watching wrestling. Was going when we go to the Armory, going to see the NXT shows.
Well,
my wife wouldn't know who Shawn Michaels was. She'd know Enzo and Cass, Carmella, Finn Balor, Joe, all the NXT guys, the black and gold original ones. And Samantha was so ready to see the finally the group get the dub. And when we saw New Day, and we're like, about time they're finally getting to come out. Yes, I have an Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Cool.
I'm old school. Xbox One.
Bro, the old school game. Me and Trumbull have been playing Skate 3 lately.
I'm a Madden guy, wrestling.
I love those games too, but some of the old.
What's the other one I played? I played the Marvel. I like that one.
You ever play the Lego games? Those are fun.
Yes, my son has every single one of them.
Oh, they're so much fun.
Every single one of them. But when New Day came out, so we're like, oh, they're finally going to wrestle. They're finally compete. I was like, oh, New Day's winning. There's no doubt New Day's going to win this match. And then found out the newer one, yes, I have 2K20. But and then all of a sudden you hear noises. We heard a rumor because they did just wrestle the Briscoes. No, it was either the Briscoes or the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
The day before on the WrestleCon. It was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it was a Ring of Honor show. And we heard that the Hardy Boys dropped the titles. They lost. There was rumors speculating that there was going to be something going on, but Vince had issues with Matt. So we did not think that nothing was going to happen. Found out, and you hear doom, doom, doom. Everybody just lost. Actually, I have a video. I'll show. Let me see if I can find it. I have the video. I don't know if I can upload it off of the Snapchat thing, but I had the video, and it was just like super insane. My wife didn't know who the hell they were.
Where were you guys sitting at? You guys have like good seats?
We were sitting. They were actually really good. They were a little high up. It was like the Budweiser area.
Gotcha.
But perfect visual. We were the ones that started the chant, please turn off the lights in the ladder match, because the light was sitting there right in our faces. So when it got darker, the lights just blinding all of us. And we're like, turn off the lights. And then they edited it out in the show. Oh my gosh, they're so into this match. We see the light. And they're acting like we're all referencing Matt. parties, delete shit, and it was so funny. Like I went back and watched it. I was like, no, we told them to turn the fucking lights off.
And so that's the one thing, because when I went to the Hell in the Cell, I was like waiting, because I've heard stories. I've heard people of like telling me like, you know, because like that was the first time I've actually went to like an event, like a pay-per-view event, like sitting in like good seats and everything. And they were telling me like the way these people would act and everything, and it was just like some of these, like I'm just like, oh my god, and it just
We saw
like,
people dressed cosplay into Stone Cold, Rock,
Bro.
Undertaker, and Kane.
Yes,
and
sir.
one did a very good impression of Enzo. I give him, he was spot on with it, and like little prop tables and just slammed each other through them. Literally coming through the gate, going in there and just slamming people on these tables. Then we found out they do the subway wrestling in out in New York and them. And I thought that was the coolest thing about going to WrestleMania, because that was my first time ever going to a WWE pay-per-view. I've only went to AEW when they did the Fight for the Fallen, or was it Fighter Fest? I think it was Fight for the Fallen. It was when Cody and Dustin tagged against the Young Bucks.
Oh,
we were so like, that was the only really the good match of that whole show in my opinion. But we watched that and it was just like super cool. And then when you saw this damn ladder, and I'm like, yeah, jumping. It was the Mania where they had the double cage thing, the prop for the WrestleMania thing. Everyone thought Shane was gonna jump off of this damn thing. You know which one I'm talking about? When he wrestled AJ, everybody was hoping Shane was gonna do something stupid.
That's right. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was telling my friend, I was like,
we were looking at this thing. It's like, I don't think Shane's gonna.
I will tell you. I will tell you this though. I give you credit, bro, for sitting through the longest effing WrestleMania and ever. This WrestleMania lasted. I remember 11:30. Me and my friend just started the Undertaker and Roman Reigns match, because we stopped and we took like a break, because after the Hardy Boys, we were like exhausted. We were like tired for a second, so we paused it, got some food, we smoked a bowl, and then we went
so
back.
bad for the women's match, because they had a good match. It was just everyone was died out.
Yeah.
And then the match right after that was
the John Cena and Miz.
John Cena and Nikki Bella.
Yeah,
crowd got hot again because of the proposal. And then sadly, what was it? Was it Nia Jax match? Nia, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bailey. I liked the match. I thought Nia got a lot out of it, but the crowd was just so dead.
Well, and I think that was the thing with that WrestleMania. There were some matches that if you go back and watch them, and if you think of them just as matches, they're not that bad. But
there wasn't really a bad. The
thing
that looked really bad live was the Bray Wyatt and Orton match, which I thought was cool, because I kept telling my wife, I was like, it's going to look 10 times better when we go watch it on TV. Yeah. When they did the warm picture on the ring and stuff like that, it looked stupid in person, but it was cool on the TV.
Yeah.
That's the same thing like Triple H's entrance. It looked really stupid in person, and then when you go on TV, how they did the camera and stuff, because it didn't look like it was a damn moped. It looked like a motorcycle, a badass motorcycle that this man was on. No, it was a fucking scooter he was on. Where he was riding with Triple H and Stephanie were riding down the thing.
Yeah. And that's so great. And like that's like the thing where it's just like you don't know. Like, and that's the thing, like my stepdad, he's always like, I don't know why you like going to the wrestling events. I don't like listening to the commentators. But I feel like that's like the one thing with it is like you have to focus more on it.
First is, you know, the no commentating, because you get the announcement, hey, Michael Cole and everything, and you don't hear them the whole damn show. Yeah, and then when you watch TV back, it's like, oh, this is the purpose of answers.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a big following for it, because that's really how you're getting the Fox. Else is from their, and that's how they even are able to get you to enjoy these shows.
I mean, you have to think, just like Pat McAfee like rejuvenized Michael Cole's career, and he was one of those guys that like he's doing things that no other commentator would be doing. Like, this guy would not be going out there and kicking footballs during commercial breaks or standing on tables and stuff while Shinsuke Nakamura comes out. Like, it's just like he's like brought like a whole different type of aspect to like a commentator. I feel. I hope he's another one that could be in the Rumble because he's on.
I was gonna
Pat
say, I
McAfee.
think Pat's gonna come in the Rumble.
He's been talking on his Pat McAfee show every day about WrestleMania, the Rumble, Cody.
He is
this
a
and
fan
that.
of this
He's
stuff.
yeah, and it's so funny because I was talking to my cousin. He's like, I wonder what's on his desk. Like, what the hell is he writing down? I want to know what the hell is on Pat McAfee's desk. He got a lot of notes. I don't know where the hell he gets all those. And every day like that, bro.
All day.
I know he does.
I watched the Brock Lesnar episode, and of course, everybody had to watch the Vince McMahon episode.
Oh my god,
to see that one.
Oh, everybody was. I remember that one like has so many people on it.
Yep.
College over. He'd be back.
He wanted to do both, and Michael told him don't.
Yeah,
don't
no, he told him too much. It would just been too much for him.
It would ruin him, and plus he had a baby girl on the way too.
And his show that he does daily, like that's a 3-hour show. You know,
3-hour show? No,
like
it might be even. It might be longer than that. I think it's like 5.
Is it? I think it's like I thought it was like 12 to 3, but it might be like 12 to 5. I don't know.
I give him props though. They're entertaining as hell. Pat is a character.
So funny. They're so great. I've started watching them more than anybody now because they're just so entertaining. They talk about everything. They talk about football, baseball, wrestling. They don't just talk about one thing compared to where there's other people. So.
All right, Tino, I think we have made a Buzzing with Marlowe record. This is the longest episode, and why not for the 120th episode?
Let's go! Man. Oh, we lost Warren again. Well, guys, we lost Warren again. I think he was about to say, well, Tino, it's 120 episodes, and we've hit 3 hours and 10 minutes. And yeah, I don't know what he was about to say. Guys, we gotta love technology. We gotta love. This is what happens to me all the time on my live streams. This is what I'm talking about with me. It happens to me, and it freezes all the time. It's so stupid. It happened yesterday. You guys remember? You remember yesterday? I was sitting there, and it was like it went out, and I was like, damn. It's like, where'd I go? I was like, where'd Tino go? I don't know. So, guys, once we get Warren back in here, I know he'll be able to do the outro. But we've been here for 3 hours and 11 minutes. I feel like I'm doing a watch-along. So I appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out with Warren. Make sure you guys subscribe to Warren. Make sure you guys join the Buzzin' with Marlowe podcast. Chris says, who do you think is going to win Becky versus Bayley inside of a steel cage? I'm saying Bayley wins next week. I'm going to say Bayley wins over Becky in the steel cage. And I'm going to say that it leads to either them both being in the Royal Rumble, or maybe we have a random match at the Rumble and then they are in the Rumble. I don't know. We've seen that before happen, where we've seen matches happen and then we've seen people that are in those same matches in the Royal Rumble. What's up, Warren?
What's up, happens. Struggle. That's why most of these stuff are pre-recorded.
I feel it, bro. The technology is awful. It happens to me all the time. I was just saying, last night it happened, and all of a sudden I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and it refreshed. It literally said, "Oh, sorry, no internet connection." I'm like, "Oh no," I'm like, "Oh shit." No, it's okay. Well, maybe that's YouTube telling us to get off. Like, you've been on too long.
No, I've seen a lot of people, more people on there a lot longer than we are. That's for sure. But, Tino, is there any last-minute shout-outs? Any links that you want to put out, announcement? Guys, check out this guy if you haven't. Go to his YouTube channel. Watch his watch-alongs. Go to his audio podcast. And he has the watch-alongs and the audio. I'm curious how that goes. But
the watch-alongs and the audio, huh?
Is it? Don't you do audio episodes as well?
I do, just not the watch-alongs, because I don't put the watch-alongs on Spotify. So I just do like collection episodes and stuff, and then I just watch along. Because I feel like if you're gonna like do a watch along, I feel like you gotta actually watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like if somebody's gonna do that, like what's the point of like listening to it if you're not watching it? Like I want to see people's reactions.
That's why I hated listening to games on radios.
Yeah,
I hated that crap.
So like I do, like I put all my like collection episodes, or not the collect, but I put like the preview, the post shows, I'm doing like I'm starting a series for WrestleMania. So I'll be putting that out weekly on Spotify and SoundCloud. But yeah, I mean, I'm on all the social medias, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of them. Tino's Time 1996. We'll be live for NXT tonight. We'll be live for Dynamite tomorrow. Thursday, introduction to the WWE Retro pay-per-view series we'll be doing. Be live this weekend for the games again, Eagles and Giants, and then we're doing the Bills and Bengals. Instead of doing all the games, because like I said, those 7-hour live streams are doing a lot for me. Kind of struggle. But, yeah, we'll be live as usual every day here on Tino's Time. So come and hang out. I appreciate everybody that did come over from my channel, came and hang out with you, and they better have subscribed or I'll yell at them tonight.
All I gotta say is Saturday, baby. Saturday,
baby. It's Trevor Lawrence.
It's going down.
It's that hair, bro.
It's the hair, everything.
It's that, well,
it's that guy.
Well,
he is that guy.
If they win on Saturday, you'll have to come and watch a little bit of the.
They that guy though.
The Giants and
we wouldn't be nowhere without that. This right here. This right here is what made it easier for us to even come back in the freaking game. But guys, thank y'all. I know this was a crazy long episode, but man, this was absolutely a blast. Guys, if you are.
There he
is. 2 games on Saturday and Sunday. Yep. Guys, it's going to be a crazy one. We're almost to the ending of football this season. Oh, my goodness.
Can't believe it. I'll be 27 in 3 months. I'm not excited.
27?
27. Old.
You're a youngin'.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm old, man. John Cena's got
32 in May. I'll be 32 in May.
I was thinking like true. looking good, Warren.
I appreciate it. So nice. But guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hit it. Stay in contact with all our platforms. Also, you can follow us on all our audio platforms. Just to name a few: iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Spotify, Apple Pods, Good Pods. All those damn audio places, man. Wherever you get your audio, we're there. I have seen it. The only thing we're not on is Pandora. I have proof on it. I Google search this every other week just to see what's up with it. But, guys, we thank y'all. We love y'all. And we will watch along pretty soon with y'all, man. Make sure y'all check out Tino later on tonight for his NXT watch along.
Let's go.
Anything else you got going on this week?
No, that's about it. All those shows, like I said, the WrestleMania, Road to WrestleMania, I'll be starting. Just a weekly show talking about all the news and notes. Take over for the fantasy football show. So trying to keep new stuff, new content coming out, new series. So, yeah, just keep an eye on my community page and my channel as I post every day. And, yeah, that's about it, though.
Love it.
I appreciate you, Warren. Thank you, man, for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you. This was definitely a fun one. You made this a very awesome episode for me. You go 3 hours long. I think I owed you for having, the special water on your watch along recently. So I think we had to make it nice appreciation to it. Chumley, I appreciate it. Chumble B. I like that name. That's pretty neat.
Guy. He's
That's
a
pretty
funny
neat.
guy.
Thank you.
No
but
problem.
guys, we love y'all. We will see y'all down the road.
See you later, everybody.
Have you always aspired to be a professional wrestler? Do you think you have what it takes to step through these ropes and take your place among the immortals? Well, now you have an opportunity. Join us at the DCCW training facility at Harvest Ministries in McClenny, Florida. There you will be put to the test and challenged like you have never been challenged before. If you think you have what it takes, prove it to the world, but most importantly, prove it to yourself.